Okay, hello. So today is finally the day. We are starting Mass Effect 3 today, finally. First game is always my favorite. Second game's good, but the third game is definitely my second favorite of the entire trilogy. So, before we start watching before we start and dive into Mass Effect 3 and get to the Reapers finally invading the galaxy and Shepard having to finally fight them after two games of preparing for them. I thought I'd watch the Mass Effect 3 reveal trailer. So Mass Effect 3 was released in March of 2012. Originally, it was supposed to come out, holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas of 2011, but it didn't. They pushed it back a few months, and in hindsight, could have pushed it back a little bit longer, because it's a great game, but it does have a few its own flaws and everything. But I figured we'd watch the reveal trailer because to this day, this trailer is still like my favorite reveal trailer of all time. It's just so well done. It gives me chills every time I watch it. So I figured I'd watch it first and then get into the game. I just love this trailer so much. So here it is. Hopefully, raise the volume a little bit. Hopefully, here it is.
2 million dead in the first day. Another 7 million by the end of the first week. Every defense annihilated. All our forces on the run. Regrouping somewhere. Reports are coming in from other major cities. It's a well-coordinated attack. And so far it's been damned effective. Don't know what they are, what they want, or where they came from. Only one thing is certain. If Shepard doesn't bring help soon, there won't be an Earth left to save.
Like I said, I just love that trailer so much because I don't know, just the first time I saw it, I was like, yes, this is everything that it's been building to, you know, is just the Reapers finally arriving. You finally get to see them taking over the galaxy and having to fight them and all that stuff. I just love that trailer so much. What's cool is you didn't know at the time, but that character in the trailer, it's Major Coates, and you actually get to interact with him somewhere in Mass Effect 3. If you've played the game before, which I'm sure some of you have, you know where exactly, but you do get to actually interact with him, and he does talk about how he spent, up in Big Ben, sniping anything that moved. So it's just a great trailer. I just love that trailer so much. Just the ominous feeling of it and everything. So anyway, Mass Effect 3, let's get right into it. Finally the Reapers have arrived. So obviously new game. Import Mass Effect 2 character. So just a quick recap. We saved the Arachnite Queen in Mass Effect 1. Rescued Kaidan on Virmire. Chose to save the Council. Saved Malin's data. Kept Rex alive on Virmire. Chose to destroy the Geth heretics. Destroyed the Collector base. Survived the end with 12 squad mates. Did not romance anyone before Mass Effect 2. And romance Tali in Mass Effect 3, so let's import. So, accept the custom face. And now, once again, what are we going to be? So, obviously, here's all the... So, if you notice, okay, so I wasn't infiltrator. Remember, I was an adept for the first one, an infiltrator for the second one. I like playing Mass Effect 3 as an engineer. I might do that for this one, but I'll just show you. So, the thing about Mass Effect 3 was, once again, for this game, any class, doesn't matter what you are, any class can use any weapon. The thing is that when you carry weapons in the battle, they all have weight. And the more heavy that you are, I'll say, the slower your cooldown speed is for your powers. So the less weapons you have, the faster cooldown speed you have. Obviously, Soldier is the one that can carry like all the heaviest weapons and not really be affected by it. Whereas someone like an Adept, yeah, it will. And we'll see that as we get into the gameplay and everything. So, and of course, they also revamped the Paragon Renegade system, so that bar, Progress bar, it's total. It's no longer split between two. It's now just total, you know? So, which is a little different, and so it's kind of like doesn't really matter anymore-ish. So let's see, total. So Soldier powers to the Adrenaline Rush, which is just really good. Concussive Shot, Frag Grenade. Shepard now normally has grenades that they can use. So the grenade powers, unlike Mass Effect 2, which are just unlimited, they have limited amounts in this game. To change it up a little bit. And then, of course, your ammo powers. Infiltrator, which is what we were. Disruptor, Cryo again. Incinerate, Tactical Cloak. They have a game of Sticky Grenade this time. A little change there. And then Sabotage, which I believe is, which it's useful on enemy weapons. Then you have Vanguard, which has Incendiary Cryo, Biotic Charge, which can be useful. It goes hand in hand with Nova, Shockwave, which we saw Jack have, and Pull. So Biotic Charge, which was in the second game, is basically you just leap forward in a Biotic Rush, and when you hit a target, your shields automatically replenish, so it can be life-saving. Then Nova is basically just a giant, like you punch the ground and destroy everything. The two pretty much go hand in hand, where you charge the Nova, that's how you kind of like defeat enemies. Your Sentinel, Pure Biotic, Tech and Biotic, Throw Warp, Lift Grenade, Tech Armor, which is just like a barrier, another area of protection, but you can detonate it for an effect. And it doesn't last, it will deteriorate. But, you can put it back on. Overload, Cryoblast. You have your Adept, which is just pure biotics. Warp, Throw, Shockwave, Singularity Pull, and Cluster Grenade. Then Engineer, which is what I'm going to do. Incinerate, Overload, Cryoblast, Combat Drone, Sabotage, and a Sentry Turret. So you get 2 turrets, basically, with this. I'm going to use this. So I'm going to select this one. So once again, since I beat the game so many times, so many friggin' backup abilities and stuff, that I can choose from. Carnage, which is kind of like Concussive Blast, but same thing. Decoy, which is where you put a decoy of yourself out there. Another drone, if I wanted. Energy Drain, shields. Reeve, which is what I had, remember Mass Effect 2, but I quickly got rid of that. Stasis, Warp, Barrier. Defense Matrix, same thing as Barrier, pretty much. Fortification, same thing. Armor Piercing Arrow, Slam, Dark Channel. I'm probably going to go with Barrier. So, what's it? I'm probably going to go with Barrier for this one. So I just have that extra layer of protection, which is always nice. And of course, Colonist, Soul Survivor. Alright, let's go. Yep. So here we go.
How bad is it?
Bad. We just lost contact with 2 of our deep space outposts. There's something massive on the long-range scanners.
Is this what Shepard warned us about?
I'd stake my life on it.
How long do we have?
Not long. I sent word. The fleet's immobilizing.
God help us all.
Already an ominous threat. In 2157, humanity discovered it was not alone in the universe. 30 years later, they found a peaceful place among dozens of galactic species, but the idyllic future is overshadowed by dark past. Reapers, a sentient race of machines responsible for cleansing the galaxy of all organic life every 50,000 years, are about to return. The leaders of the galaxy are paralyzed by indecision, unable to accept the legend of the Reapers as fact, but one soldier has seen the legend come to life. And now, the fate of the galaxy depends on him. Got through it this time. there we are.
Commander.
You're not supposed to call me that anymore, James.
Not supposed to salute you either. We gotta go. The Defense Committee wants to see you.
Sounds important.
So remember, Hackett said that we would basically had
What's
to
going on?
stand trial.
Couldn't say. Just told me they needed you. Now.
It's Anderson.
Anderson?
Admiral?
You look good, Shepard. Maybe a little soft around the edges. How you holding up since being relieved from duty?
It's not so bad once you get used to the hot food and soft beds.
We'll get it sorted out.
What's going on? Why is everyone in such a hurry?
Admiral Hackett's mobilizing the fleets. I'm guessing word's made it to Alliance Command. Something big's headed our way.
The Reapers?
We don't know. Not for certain.
What else could it be?
If I knew that.
So you notice right off the bat, they took out the middle option. So is it the top or the bottom? Because remember, the top option is typically Paragon, bottom option is typically Renegade. And the middle option really was nothing. A lot of people were kind of upset they took out the middle option. Now it's just one or the other. And if you notice, Admiral, he's now Admiral Anderson. We made him counselor, but he resigned his position, went back to the Alliance military, and they promoted him to the rank of Admiral. So that's why he's Admiral Anderson and not Counselor Anderson anymore.
You know we're not ready if it is then. Not by a long shot.
Tell that to the Defense Committee.
Unless we're planning to talk the Reapers to death, the committee is a waste of time.
They're just scared. None of them have seen what you've seen. You've faced down a Reaper. Hell, you spoke to one, then blew the damn thing up. You've seen how they harvest us, what they plan to do to us. You know more about this enemy than anyone.
That why they grounded me? Took away my ship?
You know that's not true. When you blew up the Batarian relay, hundreds of thousands of Batarians died.
It was that or let the Reapers walk through our back door.
I know that, Shepard. And so does the committee. If it wasn't for that, you'd have been court-martialed and left to rot in the brig.
That and your good word?
Yeah, I trust you, Shepard. And so does the committee.
I'm just a soldier, Anderson. I'm no politician.
I don't need you to be either. I just need you to do whatever the hell it takes to help us stop the Reapers.
They're expecting you to, Admiral.
Good luck in there, Shepard.
So you see James is a new character.
Anderson?
Look who it is, Caden.
Shepard.
Kate?
How'd it go in there, Major?
Okay, I think. Hard to know. I'm just waiting for orders now.
Major?
You hadn't heard?
No, I'm a bit out of the loop these days.
Sorry, sir. Didn't mean to keep you out of the loop.
So obviously, Caden, who was who was Staff Lieutenant Alenko, is now, and then in the first game, then Lieutenant Commander Alenko in Mass Effect 2 has now been promoted to Major in Mass Effect 3. Ashley, if you keep her alive, she goes through similar transition. She was Gunnery Chief in Mass Effect 1. Still a chief in Mass Effect 2, but she gets promoted to, I think, in the Alliance. I don't know if it's Master Chief, but she gets promoted in that one. And in the third game, this one, she would be a Lieutenant Commander, so she gets made an officer.
I'm sure you had your reasons.
Yeah, I suppose I did. Still, it's good to see you.
Admiral,
Come on.
You know the commander?
I used to.
It's true.
Admiral Anderson. Shepard.
What's the situation?
We were hoping you would tell us.
The reports coming in are unlike anything we've seen. Whole colonies have gone dark. We've lost contact with everything beyond the Soul Relay.
Whatever this is, it's incomprehensibly powerful.
You brought me here to confirm what you already know. The Reapers are here.
Everyone stops what they're doing.
Then, how do we stop them?
Stop them. This isn't about strategy or tactics. This is about survival. The Reapers are more advanced than we are. More powerful, more intelligent. They don't fear us. And they'll never take pity on us.
But there must be some way.
Should have listened.
If we're gonna have any chance at surviving this, we have to stand together.
That's it? That's our plan?
Admiral,
Yep.
we've lost contact with Luna Base.
The moon? They couldn't be that close already.
How they get past our defenses?
They're more powerful, that's
Sir,
how.
UK headquarters has a visual.
United Kingdom. So you see video feeds from all over Earth.
Why haven't we heard from Admiral Hackett?
What do we do?
The only thing we can. We fight, or we die.
Let's go.
We should get to the Normandy.
Oh my god.
The Reapers are here.
Move! Go, go, go!
It has begun.
Shepard! 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 Come on, get up. Here, take this. We've got to get moving. This is Admiral Anderson.
That counts
Report
as
in,
dead.
anyone. Major Alenko, is that you? What's your status? I can't raise the Normandy. You'll have to contact them. We'll meet you at the landing zone. Anderson out. They're massive. Come on, Shepard. Cadence headed to the Normandy. They'll pick us up if we can get to the spaceport. Let's move.
So, real quick, the city that we're in, so we are on Earth, obviously. The city we're in right now, by the way, is it's Vancouver. So, any of you Canadians out there, sorry, but Vancouver gets torched. BioWare is a Canadian company. I don't know if their headquarters is in Vancouver or not, but that's why this opening setting is in Vancouver, is because, like I said, it's a Canadian company. So they're a place they're very familiar with. So that's where we are right now. We're at one of the, like I said, an Alliance facility, obviously. But just remember, in at least the Mass Effect universe, by this time, the United States, Canada, and Mexico all merged into one to form the United North American States. So, on Earth and Mass Effect, there still are independent nations and everything, kind of like we have today, except that the Systems Alliance is humanity's unified government on a galactic stage. So, there is one unified human government, but it really only deals with stuff outside of Earth. Once you're on Earth, it then goes back to all your different little, individual nations, But right off the rip. So once again, since I imported, this isn't the max amount of powers. This goes back up to, once again, level 60. But this is how much I have to spend because I already imported a character, and since Shepard didn't die, that's why I have powers to spend right away. Which is cool, which I'm going to spend right now. So right now, so you can see also, see here the reputation bar. First off, it's all combined. That's all my Paragon points. A Renegade, but it's all one. You know, so they did change it a bit. So right now, what I'm going to do is, the tree is also kind of different too. So I made it kind of more like simplified-ish. They made it bigger than the second game, but not as big as the first one. So if you notice, it's different. As we go through, it splits after you're rank 3 to get to rank 6. So do that, and you see what's being affected and how much it costs. So it's not just 1 point anymore. It's 1 point for level 1, 2 points for level 2, 3 for level 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. Now this is where it splits. So I can increase my melee damage bonus by 30%, and increase health and shields by 15, which is what I'm going to do. And then, same thing, melee, increase melee damage, or decrease shield recharge delay, which I'm going to do. And then melee synergy, once again, increase melee damage by 30%, increase power damage, or increase health and shield, which is what I'm going to do. Getting that up right away, but that's all my... So that's like your health and stuff. This is your class stuff. So what I am going to do, though, so I get powers, is at least unlock that. And then... yeah. You can sabotage weapons and hacks and decks with this one, which is kind of cool. But we'll at least get that. Oh, crap. And then combat drones there. Barrier, I have tech mastery. I'm probably going to max this out too. So more dexterity and charisma. As you see here, you have your reputation bonus, which was similar to the one in Mass Effect 2. Power damage, weapon capacity. This is how you can handle weapon weight. Obviously, soldier's the best. So you see everything going up. So let's get that. Now this one. Increase power damage bonus by 15%, or increase duration of all powers by 25%, and increase reputation. I always like the reputation to get that up as high as I can, so I'm going to choose that. And squad bonus. Increase the force and damage of squad mate powers by 30%, or increase power damage bonus for myself by 10%. Increase weight capacity by 20 points. I like to carry some heavy weapons, so I'm doing that one. And then drone mastery. So increase combat drone and sentry turret shields and their damage by 50%, or increase power damage bonus by 25 and power duration. I like my drones, so I'm going to do that. Okay. So let's let's start here. Get these at least to there. And then what I'm going to do next is, or it's going to cost 2 points. So get at least overload, incinerate to there. So, alright, I'm good for now. Oh, you see it's already kind of got like everything mapped up based on how I had it beforehand. So what we're going to do this time, though, is we're going to keep incinerate there. We move that there. That there. This is a sentry turret. That's a combat drone. There we go.
Look out! How do you stop something so powerful?
As you see, yeah, that's
Take a running jump. It's farther than it looks.
You can now jump in this one too, which was kind of cool. See, Reaper's
Come on,
just
let's
devastating
go.
everything. And sprinting in this one
We'll have to go this
doesn't
way.
affect your stamina anymore. You can unlimited sprint in this now.
Looks clear. Let's go.
So once again, you can vault over
Major,
cover.
you read me. I'm patching in Shepard.
We're almost to the Normandy. I've got Lieutenant Vega with me, but we're taking heavy fire.
We're about 5 minutes out.
What you can also do is this.
Tusk, take him out.
Slide over, which is really cool.
Shoot him. I'm out of ammo. Come on, we gotta move. to take these things out the old-fashioned way.
So you go here and then pop.
Don't let them grab you.
See how just massive a Reaper capital ship is. See, it's literally as tall as the building. It's just destroying
Gotta find
everything.
a way out of here. Watch it.
So now you also have heavy melee in this one where you get to do that. So they give you a heavy melee attack in this one as well. Instead of this light, there's the heavy one. Cool thing is, every class has a different style of heavy melee attack. So you saw the engineer just use the Omni tool as, you know, that, use it like that. The soldier gets the one from you've seen from the trailers where like a little blade folds out and you stab them with that. Sentinel or Adept actually gets two of them where you swipe it, but everyone is different. It's really friggin' cool, you know.
Through this way.
There's a little kid who was flying his little toy spaceship before on the roof.
It's okay.
Everyone's dying.
Come here. I need to get you someplace safe. Take my hand.
You can't help me.
That's pretty
Shepard!
Pretty sad and dark.
In here.
And the kid's gone. So some people think that that kid actually doesn't exist and is just a figment of Shepard's imagination or just like the stress of dealing with the Reapers for the last several years. It's an interesting theory.
This is a goddamn mess. Every minute these machines are here, thousands of innocent people die. I won't be responsible.
It's hard enough fighting a war, but it's worse knowing no matter how hard you try, you can't save them all.
Exactly. They get so fast. I thought we'd have more time.
We knew they were coming.
And they still just cut through our defenses.
Yep.
We need to go to the Citadel. Talk to the Council.
The Citadel? The fight's here.
It'll be everywhere soon enough. You said it yourself. The Reapers will destroy everything if we don't stop them. The Council has to help us. You sure about that? No, but you're a Council Spectre. That has to count for something. Gotcha!
Thanks. I owe you one.
More than one.
Imagine if Shepard falls to his death right there, then everyone would be screwed.
Reload, let's keep moving.
And absolutely everyone would be screwed.
Major Alenko, we're in sight of the spaceport. ETA 3 minutes.
We made it to the Normandy, taking heavy fire. Oh god. They're gonna take down the Dreadnought. Evasive maneuver.
Major, Caden! Damn it, they're in trouble.
As you can tell, Mass Effect 3 is a lot more action-orientated than the last two.
Normandy, we're going to reroute. Do you copy? Normandy, come in. Friendlies.
Some Alliance soldiers.
You two all right? Get down, they'll see you.
Keep your head down. Now it's stop. Finish them all. Shepard, over here.
So those used to be Batarians. You can see
What
those are
happened here?
Reaper troops.
Our gunship was shot down. We barely made it.
You have a radio? We're trying to contact our ship.
No. There's one in the gunship, but it's gonna be crawling with those things.
Stay here, son. We'll get you out of here. Come on. Let's get to that gunship.
And we now got Anderson as a squad mate. Let's go! So, when the demo for this came out, this is what you played, was the opening mission, was this. You know, I played the demo so many times because I was just that excited for this game. You know, and the fact that you had Anderson as your squad mate as well, oh, that was just perfect, you know. So, you can see he's a soldier. That's what his class is. So, you know, gotta upgrade him. You know, give him... See, increase grenade capacity by 1. You'll see what that means. Increase him by 2. Yeah, let's not really do that. So we got Anderson as our squad mate, which is just amazing. Oh yeah, the other thing that was cool, like I said, it's more action oriented. You can now dive out of the way, which is really freaking cool. See now, so remember in the second game, you would get credits if you had max medkits. Now it just gives you experience, which is a lot better.
What the hell are those
So here, let's have Anderson concussive shot, and then see, he doesn't have any grenades because I haven't picked up any, but that's where it would be. So those cannibals, they used to be Batarians. So yeah, if you press V, if it's V, it tells you what your objective is. I didn't want you to hear me cough. Okay. Nice.
Shepard, over here. I found the radio.
And we got the M8 Avenger assault rifle.
Normandy, this is Anderson. Do you read?
Admiral, what's your location?
By a downed gunship in the harbor. I'm activating its distress beacon. Send support. We've got wounded down here. Major! Damn it! I lost the signal.
Let's hope that beacon does its job.
And fast. We've got company.
Alright, let's deploy that. Deploy that. So this part actually is interesting, the fact that it's all dependent on ammo count, not enemy count.
Hope they get there soon.
You and me both!
Running out of ammo.
Yeah, so that part's all dependent on ammo count, not enemy. So if I had a lot of ammo, I would just... If I had, like, no ammo, it would have been short. See, the Normandy is back under Alliance colors. As it should be.
Welcome aboard, Shepard.
Thanks.
Shepard!
Come on!
I'm not going. You saw those men back there. There's a million more like them, and they need a leader.
We're in this fight together, Anderson.
It's a fight we can't win. Not without help. We need every species and all their ships to even have a chance at defeating the Reapers. Talk to the Council. Convince them to help us.
What if they won't listen?
Then make them listen. Now go! That's an order.
I don't take orders from you anymore, remember?
Consider yourself reinstated, Commander. You know what you have to do.
I'll be back for you, and I'll bring every fleet I can.
Good luck.
You too, Shepard.
So Anderson's staying behind to lead the resistance of Earth as we have to evacuate Vancouver. This is part of the reason why a lot of people, they think that this kid doesn't exist, because only Shepard's the one who can see him, it seems like. Because nobody's helping this little kid. Requiescat in pace, civilians. As the Reaper just annihilates them. See Reaper capital ships just descending upon the city. So the human fleet just annihilated. You know, the Alliance is just decimated. There it is.
What the hell's going on? Where's Anderson? Where are we going? Hey!
We're leaving.
Leaving?
What's going on?
Anderson wants us to go to the Citadel, get help for the fight.
Bullshit, he wouldn't order us to leave.
We don't have a choice. Without help, this war's already over.
Forget it. Drop me off someplace.
Enough! Don't you think I'd rather stay and fight? We're going to the Citadel. You want out, you can catch a ride back from there.
Commander!
Joker, that you?
Alive and kicking. Got an emergency transmission from Admiral Hackett for you.
Patch it through.
Shepard, sustained heavy losses. The force was overwhelming. There's no way we can defeat them conventionally.
Anderson's already ordered me to the Citadel to talk to the Council.
First, I need you to... I Defense outpost on Mars. Now we lose control of the system.
Yes, sir.
I've been researching the Prothean archives with Dr. Tassoni. We found a way to stop the Reapers. Only way to stop them. Contact soon. Hack it out.
Joker, set a course for the Mars archives.
Get your ass to Mars.
Roger that.
Get your ass to Mars.
This is local.
Why Mars? What does he think we'll find there?
I don't know yet. But if it helps us win this war... Grab your gear.
I've been trying to reach Mars on secure channels. No one's answering.
Any sign of Reaper activity?
Negative.
EDI?
The base appears to be online. It's possible the inhabitants were evacuated.
We'll know soon enough. Be ready, Joker. Just in case.
Roger that. Normandy out.
So we got Caden back.
We're almost there.
And James is a new squad mate. I like James. He's not a bad character. You can see we're getting to see more of the human-controlled systems as well. Like we get to see Mars. There's a little bit of it here.
Still no contact from the base, but we've got a massive storm headed our way.
How long till it hits?
Half hour tops. After that, we're gonna have difficulty keeping up comms with the Normandy.
Understood.
See, we leveled up. So once again, you can get up to level 60. This,
Man, that's a huge storm. Looks a lot bigger in person.
Pretty average for Mars, actually.
I'm glad you're so optimistic.
Yeah, we've got Reapers invading Earth. The station here is offline. A little dust storm seems like the least of our worries.
Fair enough.
that is true. Just level him up in a second. But you see, yeah, I can sprint unlimited now. No, yeah, I know. Mars facility approach.
What's that? He's Alliance. Sergeant Reeves. Didn't put up a fight before he died.
Something's not right here.
Keep a low profile till we know what's going on.
Roger that.
Yeah. So let's do, I'm going to do change loadout for a second. So you see now here, see, wait. So as you put in weapons, like anybody can use any one of them. But as you put in weapons, this bar will increase and your power recharge speed will either go plus 0% or negative. Obviously plus is the faster you are. Negative is the slower you are. So you can do that for all your squad mates. So me personally, I like to snipe. You can also now in this game, in Mass Effect 3, you can mod your weapons too, which is pretty damn cool. But you notice, see, carrying these two and that, went from plus 200 to plus 50. But you see now, here are the stats. So the weight is up, the capacity, meaning the clip, fire rate, damage and accuracy. So I'm going to do that just to show you. This is not like that. I'm going to take the M8 Avenger as well. But you see now, having these three, my weight went down to negative 50% as it went up. So now it's going to be 50% slower than what it should be. So now the M4 Shuriken, I'm going to take that away. You see it went to 0. My net 0. Predator pistol, don't want that. Back up to 50%. So he said you can use any of the weapons you want, and you can carry as many guns or as little, or even just one gun if you want. But that's the only consequence. Soldier obviously doesn't matter. Soldier can carry a lot of guns and a lot of heavy ones too. your squad mates, they themselves have set numbers. So like James can only have the assault rifle and a shotgun. And Kaidan, remember the first game, he can only have the pistol. Well, now they train him to have the pistol and assault rifle. So that's it. So that's all I'm carrying here. And then I gained a level so I can upgrade something now. So I'm going to upgrade the combat drone and give it better shields. And Kaidan, here we go. I always like to at least the first 3 for everything of my squad mates, you know, then go from there. So that way they have a good base. See, they also gave him Reeve. The first thing I always like to do is their like health and shields. I like to always put that up first as well. So that way, you know. Somebody's shooting something. Cerberus. Traitorous bastards.
Holy shit. They're executing them.
And the good news also with this one is no gun wobble. So here, watch. This is Carnage. See that? Which is nice. And I missed. And he threw a grenade.
Sure looked like it. Cerberus, what are they doing here on Mars? Good question. You don't know. I'm not with them anymore, Kaidan, if that's what you're asking. It wasn't, but you have to admit, it's a bit, convenient.
Requiescat in Pace, Alliance soldiers. You see how my recharge speed is just a little bit slower? You know, it's because of the weapons. So Overload can also shock organics too, which is nice.
Yeah, just a few vehicles. Must have had help from the inside. You could be right. No way they can take this facility with anything less than a full battalion.
I'm gonna check. Do I? Let's go to. I do sabotage it. Okay. Here's the Mars facility.
You told Cerberus to screw off after you wiped out that collector base they were after. That's exactly what I did.
Yes, it did.
Well, one thing's for sure. They're no friend of the Alliance. Agreed. Shepard, I need a straight answer. About what? Do you know anything about why Cerberus is here? What makes you think I know what they're up to? You work for them, for God's sakes. How am I not supposed to think that? We joined forces to take down the Collectors. That's it. There's more to it. They rebuilt you from the ground up. They give you a ship. Resources. Let me be clear. I've had no contact with Cerberus since I destroyed the Collector base. And I have no idea why they're here now, or what they want.
Commander Shepard's been under constant surveillance since coming back to Earth. No way they've communicated since.
Sorry, Shepard. It's just that...
Kaidan, never understand.
I shouldn't have to explain myself to you, Kaidan.
So you can see, Kaidan still doesn't trust us. He's like, bro, we took down the Collectors. We told Cerberus to screw off. Why don't you trust us?
Please, trust me.
I do, I'm sorry. I didn't mean...
It's Liara. Very ruthless Liara has become.
Easy there, Lieutenant. She's with us.
Shepard, thank the goddess you're alive.
Liara.
I was worried when the reports came in. They hit Earth hard.
Yeah. It was hard to leave like that.
Kaidan, I'm sorry. But why'd you come here?
Hackett ordered us to come. Said you'd know what was going on.
I do.
Hallelujah. Some answers, finally.
Maybe. I've discovered plans for a Prothean device. One that could wipe out the Reapers.
Here on Mars?
In the Prothean archives, yes.
We've known about the archives for decades. Why now?
Process of elimination, mixed with a little desperation. When you destroyed the Alpha Relay, you bought us some time. But then you were under investigation. I knew I had to do something. Hackett knew it too. He contacted me, asking if I would use my resources as a shadow broker to find a way to stop the Reapers. My search led me here. Hackett got me access to the archives and kept me updated on your status. I meant to come see you, but...
I was under house arrest. There wasn't much I could do to help you anyway.
I suppose you're right. In any case, my work paid off. The archives are full of data, an overwhelming amount. I think I found what we need.
I guess I'll believe it when I see it. Where do we find this weapon?
It's not a weapon, not yet. It's plans for a device, a blueprint.
It's more than we had a minute ago. How do we get it?
The archives are just across that tramway. Assuming Cerberus hasn't locked it down.
What are they after?
Yeah, they seem hell-bent on catching you.
They want what I'm here for. What we're all here for.
But why?
The Protheans came close to defeating the Reapers. They had plans to destroy them, but ran out of time.
And anything powerful enough to destroy the Reapers are...
Just might be something Cerberus would be interested in.
So it's a race to the archives.
Yep.
We've got company.
Bring it on.
Not this time, James.
What?
Get back to the shuttle. If Cerberus beats us to the archives, I need you covering the exits.
Yep.
But...
Now, Lieutenant.
I hear them. We should take cover.
Looks like they found us.
So obviously Liara has
Not a problem
singularity.
for someone with biotics. more than guns to finish them, Shepard.
No, I got this. So then, or not.
Can't just shoot them. That's all of them.
Good. Let's find a way up.
So the good news is, at least with Mass Effect 3, you can do this in 2 as well, but more so 3. You can curve some of the powers, which is nice. Which is what I was trying to do. First, let's load up Liara. So also, I forgot to mention before that I meant to, but then we kind of got into the action and everything. So remember how I told you Lair of the Shadow Broker and Arrival were originally DLC. Probably in about a decade, maybe less than that, people will stop referring to them as DLC because you buy the Legendary Edition, you get everything in it, so it's now a part of the base game. But back then it wasn't. So back then, if you didn't have both those DLCs, Liara still becomes the Shadow Broker, but the way she explains is that, you know, she contacted the Alliance. They, with what she knew, they decided, we'll help you out. They assaulted the Shadow Broker's base on Hagalaz, but that force was kind of wiped out in taking down the original Yogg Shadow Broker, installing her. So it's like not as interesting. And plus Farron also like dies. He doesn't survive. So, and if you didn't have Arrival, Shepard gets locked up for everything they did in Mass Effect 1 and 2. You know, and Anderson, that set in that little piece in the beginning when Shepard says, "That why they ground me, took away my ship," instead of Anderson saying, you know, you blew, it's because the Aratot system, you know, you blew up when you blew up the relay there, killed all those Batarians. That's why. Instead, Anderson would just be like, the shit you've done, the stuff you've seen, any other soldier would have been tried, would have been tried, convicted, and court-martialed. So it's like, you know, that's really same thing. It's like it's kind of bland, you know. But since they did those 2 DLCs, it kind of fits better as to why they locked him up, which is good that they made all that like part of the story now, and it will one day stop being DLC because it's not. It's literally there in the game, you know. So that's why it just fits a little bit better. Okay, so once again. That up. Oh, no. That up. Yeah, and so Overload is good on shields, but it could also be used against unshielded enemies to like shock them. You know, giving you a little bit of a reprieve, which is nice. Let's save it, because I haven't.
The elevator.
There's got to be another way up.
Of course, the elevator doesn't work.
How'd Cerberus get into the facility?
Not sure. One minute we were getting reports of the Reaper invasion. The next, there was chaos. Didn't even realize it was Cerberus at first.
Could they be working with the Reapers?
Doubtful. But I suppose anything's possible.
I like sliding over across. And if you notice also, things like barrier and fortification, they stay on the entire mission now until, which is nice. You know, it used to be just they don't. They would go away. Now it's just nope. It's for the entire mission. Now you have stealth kills like that, which is kind of cool. You notice also health is now divided into little bars that don't fully replenished. So like, I'm missing 2 bars. If I was to use Metagel, I get the rest of the bars, but the health only replenishes that certain bar. It's a little different now.
Headway controls should be nearby.
So they did revamp it a little bit. And now also, your gear, you can, we'll get to it, you can customize individual pieces. So like gauntlets, here's another one.
Security's been tampered with.
So actually what I'm going to do is give myself full health, get that back.
That's odd.
We'll get to the armor in a
See if you
bit.
can gain access to the pedway.
Each new piece has different stats and modifiers.
I can't seem to unlock the live feeds, but...
Did you see that? Who's that woman in the vid?
That's Dr. Ivakore. She got here about a week ago. Any luck?
Pedway's been locked out.
Alright, looks like there's construction nearby. We can get out on the roof. We can find a way around from there.
Great. Let's move.
So you see this is much more smoother gameplay, more action-oriented, all that stuff. And of course Andromeda has the best gameplay out of the entire franchise. Which means, hopefully Mass Effect 5 will have the same. Then we're back outside. And
What the hell? Fight.
let's go
That's
Alliance.
the archives. Once Cerberus is across, they're at the final security checkpoint.
Then that's where we're headed.
And of course that storm is getting closer.
Barely. Storm's causing interference.
Yeah, tell me about it. I've lost contact with the Normandy. What's your position?
I didn't read that. James. Repeat. Damn it.
That storm's going to be in here very soon.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's already here.
Good point. This airlock shouldn't be open.
Doesn't look like it was forced open.
No, you have to override security protocols.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Flashlight! Requiescat in pace.
From this room while they were still here.
Looks like they died trying to claw their way out.
This is brutal, even by Cerberus standards.
Poor scientists and researchers. Okay, from Shodahen to Cameron Harrison. Cam! Who the hell is that woman messing in my files? Get her out of here. I won't have my system messed up by some wannabe expert who'll be gone next week. Damn strangers who think they know it all but don't care about what we're really trying to achieve here. Dr. Ava? Seriously? Don't you remember what happened last time? S. Nice little meal area.
Flashlights.
Roger that. Delta 10 out. What's our order? There's an Alliance force in here somewhere. We need to keep them away from the core. Check the next room. It's dark in there. Want me to shut the windows? No, not unless you want to decompress this room too. I don't see anyone. Come on, there's no one alive in there. Let's keep moving.
Or so I think. That's why I love my drones.
Were any of these people friends of yours?
I recognize a few, but I can't say I knew them. As the only Asari here, I think perhaps I was viewed with a little suspicion. I spent most of my time researching alone, translating.
And what did you discover?
Bits and pieces, really. Clues. It took them centuries to conquer the Protheans. In that time, the few Prothean survivors searched desperately for a way to stop the Reapers. If my translations are correct, they found a way. But in the end, they didn't have the resources to follow through with their plan.
Pressurize the room again.
first. There we go. We have access to the labs. They'll take us right to the tram station.
Hey, there's a recording of what happened here.
Security station. Come in. We're seeing some odd activity down here. Our security protocols just kicked in. Everything's locked down. Doctor, I'll get you a report as soon as...
Of course. Dr. Ava Corey. Working for Cerberus. She's the one who depressurized everything.
I guess we know how Cerberus got in.
I should have realized it when I met her. I was just so focused on finding a way to stop the Reapers.
Stopping the Reapers is the only thing we should be focused on. It's not your fault.
But what if we're wrong? What if there's no way to stop them? What if these are our last days and we spend them scurrying around trying to solve a problem we can't fix?
Come on, Liara.
I know. I shouldn't think that way. I don't know how you do it. You've always stayed focused even in the worst situations.
When there's so much at stake, I just think about what I'd lose if I fail.
That's a terrible burden.
We'll stop them, Liara. Together.
Thanks, I want to believe you. Okay, doors open. We can get to the labs and tram station through there.
Good. Let's move.
Let's move. So those are grenades. So if we had James, he'd have grenades with us. So what you can do is here at these weapon benches and on the Normandy, so we can modify your weapons. It's really cool, actually. I don't have anything that can be modified yet, so I'm not gonna use it, but I'll show you when we get there. From Amelia Hatterson to Michael Sullivan. Hey, stupid head. I won't ask how you're doing since I hear you guys are propagating germs in the shape of a cold down there in storage. Look, I know your Prothean doodads are fascinating and all, but you guys have got to stop burning the midnight oil and keep regular sleeping hours. Honestly. Anyway, I forwarded your latest findings to HQ on Earthen. Someone is depressurizing the area. Warrant secure. Requiescat in pace. So this is cool. Those are Cerberus Guardians. You notice they have a little mail slot. So I'm trying to get through the slot. And it's actually an achievement if you do that a bunch of times, see? If I had pull, you can pull the, So that's a new enemy. So that little mail slit, if you fire a shot through there, it's an achievement if you do it like 10 times. Or if you have the pull ability, you can pull the shield away from them. They're just a regular enemy. From Faisal Haikal Takel. Sent to Sandover Fletcher. Yeah, I know. 2 external specialists in the same week is a bit insane. But Hudson, I've heard about the Asari before. She's really well known. And she's done some amazing research on the Protheans. Don't know zip about that Dr. Ava chick, but Liara Tassoni? She's the real thing. I'm attaching some of her advanced papers on Prothean culture. Read them. You'll be a believer too when you're done. I can't wait until they introduce you to people. This is so exciting. Faiza. Oh, hell no. Son of a... I ran out. course, Centurions are new as well. So you can turn Guardians around, drones and stuff. Oh, hell no, buddy. I need stuff. I'm completely out of ammo. So thermal clips. Yeah, also remember you can switch between cover. They gave you a lot more freedom with this, you know, to do things.
The decontamination protocols.
With the staff still inside.
Yeah. Bad way to go.
This is where they studied the various relics unearthed here.
What did they find?
More than I could describe in a short conversation. And they'd only scratched the surface. There are vaults filled with Prothean data troves that have never been studied.
Personal notes, S. Esparza. We haven't been able to decipher much, if any, of the language yet, but the visual documentation gives us some idea as to what they were studying, namely us. They seemed particularly interested in early humanity's evolutionary process, judging by the way they organized their files and highlighted specific occasions. It seems a bit fantastic to write this, but everything indicates that they seem to be trying to chart the curve of humanity's intellectual progression. Because we already know that the Protheans had studied early humans from the vision we had before. Oh, I just read that.
That's the tram line. Takes us right to the archives. No doubt Cerberus has it locked down. Hopefully we can override it at the security station. Just through here.
Give me ammo. I need ammo. Ooh, a shotgun. Still no ammo.
Heads up!
That's an understatement.
I take it that's the only way in.
It's the only way I know of.
We'll skirt around it. Stay out of its sights. I'll move up first. Don't let it target you!
So of course, this is to introduce you to the new mechanics. You know, infinite sprinting and moving up.
Let's move!
And yay! Rolling.
Watch it!
Now you can actually even stay in cover and just go around like that, which is kind of cool.
The turret can't fire on us from here.
I still don't have a friggin' bullet. Go turrets. Oh, hell no. Finally. Strip away that. Oh, hell no. Finally, ammo. Give me ammo. Research notes, J. Tasman. The last location seems to have run dry, but judging from the communication system's layout and the backup power supplies equipped by the first Prothean research base we discovered, we think a secondary base may be located deeper underground. We're going to need permission from the powers that be to excavate further, but considering the recent renewal enthusiasm for the work we're doing here, I don't think clearance will be an issue, which will be nice. And shut that nasty thing down.
Set up a perimeter. No one else comes across.
We still have teams on the other side.
No one! And shut down those cameras.
Looks like they've made it to the archives.
And I doubt they'll just send us a tram.
Can you override it?
The archives are on a separate network. We're completely locked out.
Not if we can find a short-range communicator, helmet to helmet.
And?
And we convince them that we're on their side. Tell them the Alliance forces have been taken care of.
Good idea. See what you can find. What?
The Major has become very capable.
Agreed.
Commander, I found something.
What have you got?
He's got a transmitter in his helmet. If I can...
My God. Looks like a husk.
Yep.
Yeah, not quite. But they've definitely done something to him.
And by they, you mean Cerberus? They did this to their own guy? Is this what they did to you?
Damn it, Caden.
How can you compare me to him?
Shepard, I don't know what you are, or who. Not since Cerberus rebuilt you. For all I know, you could be their puppet, controlled by the elusive man himself.
That's not fair, Kate.
Don't try to explain it. I don't think I'd understand anyway. I just want to know, is the person that I followed to hell and back still in there? Somewhere.
They didn't change me, Caden. But words won't convince you, will they?
Probably not.
I didn't think so. You were always stubborn.
Me?
Come on, let's see what Cerberus is up to. Maybe we'll both get some answers. Hello, this is Delta Team. Anybody there?
Where the hell have you been? Never mind, what's your status?
We're at the tram station, waiting for extraction. All hostiles terminated.
Roger that. Echo Team will ride over and secure the station.
Think they bought it?
If they didn't, they'll figure it out soon enough.
We should get in position. Flank them when they get off the tram.
Good thinking, Major.
Once again.
Affirmative.
Got it.
Let's level up first. So we got more than a few new points. And then six points. More health and shields. More so that. So they come.
Got it. Here they come.
Get back here.
Got it.
Let's see. Come on. I turn him around, which is nice. Alright, let's activate this.
Storm's getting bad. We better wrap this up quickly.
The archives are right on the other side.
That and a squad of angry Cerberus troops.
Come on. And of course he dodged.
Damn. They really didn't want us getting in here.
Yes, it confirms my assertions about the value of the data stored here.
What's cool is when I do mod the weapons, the modifications will actually show up. It's not just there, like you can see them too, which is kind of cool. I did pick up a couple for the sniper rifle, so I'll put them on after. And I knew he was going to do that. Son of a bitch. Do it. Nice. You got one shot left. Time to pick up some time to get in close. There's another assault rifle.
Caden.
Shepard.
Elusive man.
Fascinating race, the Protheans. They left all this for us to discover, but we squandered it. The Alliance has known about the archives for more than 30 years. And what have they done with it?
What do you want?
What I've always wanted. The data in these artifacts holds the key to solving the Reaper threat.
I've seen your solution. Your people are turned into monsters.
Hardly. They're being improved.
Improved?
That's what separates us, Shepard. Where you see a means to destroy, I see a way to control, to dominate and harness the Reaper's power. Imagine how strong humanity would be if we controlled them.
Once again, Elusive Man always trying to control things.
Earth is under siege, and you're hatching a scheme to control the Reapers?
You've always been short-sighted, hasty. Your destruction of the Collector base proved that.
That base was an abomination. Hundreds of thousands of humans were murdered there.
This isn't your fight any longer, Shepard. You can't defeat the Reapers, even with the Prothean data.
So remember I said, you know, reputation is all just one bar now? Same thing, like, that's why I have both of these here, because it doesn't matter if you have more Paragon or Renegade, as long as it's all about the level of the bar. So, that's why you're always going to get both of them the higher you are, so.
Work with me. Give me control of your resources, and I'll stop them.
You'd do better than most, but the odds aren't in your favor. More importantly, I don't want the Reapers destroyed. We can dominate them, use their power, harness their very essence to bring humanity to the apex of evolution.
You've gone too far. The Reapers will kill us all if we don't stop fighting each other.
I don't expect you to understand, Shepard, and I'm certainly not looking for your approval.
Using our own words against us.
You were a tool, an agent with a singular purpose, and despite our differences, you were relatively successful. But like the rest of the relics in this place, your time is over.
Enough talk. Liara.
Don't interfere with my plans, Shepard. I won't warn you again.
Duly noted.
Shepard,
What?
the data, it's not here. It's being erased.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Damn it. How's he doing it?
It's local. Someone's uploading the information.
Hey, step away from the console. Now.
And Caden just got his ass handed to him.
She's got the data.
She's faster than she looks.
Stay close. We can't lose her.
Singularity. Ooh.
There she is.
Stay on her.
She's getting away.
Watch out.
So you can sprint infinitely.
James, you read me? Cerberus has the data. Radio to Normandy. Get them down here now. She's getting away. Damn it. James, Normandy, anybody.
I got this one.
Interesting solution, James.
Normandy's en route. They'll be here soon.
And James walks out like nothing happened.
We need the data.
Oh, look. She wasn't human. It was a robot, actually. A clanker!
Caden!
Poor Caden.
Let him go.
Orders?
Dispose of him.
No!
Poor Caden.
Grab that thing. Bring it with us.
Shepard, we got Reaper signatures in orbit. Caden. Caden.
And we got us to Mars. And now we're leaving as the Reapers are in orbit.
Caden needs medical attention. We have to leave the Sol system.
I know.
The Citadel is our best chance. We can find help there.
Get us to the Citadel, Joker.
Roger that.
Hold on, Caden. See what you and Edie can learn from that thing.
Commander, I'm receiving a signal over the secondary QEC. I believe it's Admiral Hackett.
Patch me through.
I'll forward it to the comm room.
Shepard, are you reading me? Commander.
Edie, can you clear this up?
I'll do my best.
Did you get to the archives?
I was there. So was the Elusive Man.
I was worried Cerberus might try something. Did you get the data?
Most of it. He downloaded some before I could stop him. Edie and Liara are analyzing what we recovered.
What have you learned? Was it worth the effort?
Preliminary evidence suggests the data is a blueprint for a Prothean device.
Device?
A weapon, massive in size and scope, that's capable of unquantifiable levels of destruction.
Send me the data. We'll do our own analysis. If Liara's instincts are right, this might be the key to stopping the Reapers.
I hope so. Major Olenko was critically injured. We're taking him to the Citadel.
Sorry to hear that, Shepard. But we both know this is just the beginning. Talk to the Council, show them what you found. With luck, they'll give you all the support we need.
And if they don't?
Do whatever it takes to get them on board. I'll be in touch soon. Hack it out.
Commander. EDI is extracting data from the Cerberus machine. We'll have details to present to the Council by the time we reach the Citadel.
And Major Olenko?
I've done what I can for him, but we need to get him to a medical facility soon.
True.
The Admiral's right. It's going to get worse, isn't it?
Unless we stop the Reapers. Yeah.
I've looked at the data. This weapon could be the answer if we can build it. I get the sense you don't quite believe it, though.
You didn't see what they did to Earth. How is one weapon supposed to stop them?
Yeah, a little bit hard to believe.
What are our options? You know we can't win this conventionally. Commander? Isn't it worth trying at least?
I'm gonna check on Kaidan and James. Make sure we're ready to present our findings to the Council.
I'm sure the Council will see the need to help.
Yeah,
It'll be
okay.
a hell of a short war if they don't.
When has the Council ever helped us when we needed them, huh? Never! That's when.
Barely got a pulse here.
Damn.
Move him out.
Where are you taking him?
Huerta Memorial. Best care in the Citadel.
We're not going with?
We need to see the Council.
Right. Looks like they might be coming to see you.
It's Commander Bailey.
Commander Shepard. Got word you were arriving.
Captain Bailey. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Though it's Commander now.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Now, half my job is dealing with political bullshit and escorting dignitaries around. No offense.
None taken. So, you're here to bring us to the Council?
I'm here to tell you the Council is expecting you, but they are dealing with their own problems with the war and everything. They apologize for the inconvenience and blah, 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 blah. Meet them here at Udina's office. They'll be ready soon enough.
All right.
You might have time to go by the medical center if you want to check on progress over there.
Of course.
Thanks. I might do that.
You go on ahead. I'll head up to Udina's office.
One of my men can show you the way. You?
I'm just a tourist today. I'll try not to get in any trouble.
Commander, we've got a situation in the embassy quarters. We could use your help.
I'll be right there. The other half of my job. I'll see you around, Shepard.
No doubt.
So once again, the Citadel has been overhauled for a third time, you know. So obviously, you know, here's your map and different areas of it. They're smaller. These areas are even smaller than the Mass Effect 2, you know. But you can see here on the map what there is to do in each area. You know, if you have missions or people to talk to or stuff like that. You know. First one is... So, a lot of people didn't like the fact that this, like, blueprints for this weapon, they kind of didn't like that.
But you're on the Normandy, right?
Because it's like, it's a Deus Ex Machina, you know, which is, from Latin means God from the machine. You know, it was basically a, goes back to playwrights, where man would be in such a plight, a situation where he, you know, couldn't get through the situation until the gods come in, and then, you know, everything's all right, and he saves his situation. Usually it was because of a mechanical machine being operated backstage. That's where the term comes from, actually. And that's what everyone felt like this kind of was. Like, instead of just really getting everyone together, no. It was just they had to use a Deus Ex Machina, which people kind of didn't like. And here's another character that people think was just forced and game could have done without.
What's going on here?
Commander, just who I was looking for. Diana Allers, Alliance News Network. I think we can help each other.
I suppose you want an interview.
Even better. I'm a military reporter with the show called Battle Space. We're carried on just about all Council planets. My producers want me embedded on a human ship, and I want that ship to be the Normandy.
Why would I want that?
Wars can be won or lost in the editing room, and this war needs to be won. I've got Alliance security clearance and operate without a crew. You get veto power over the segments I file. Can you handle an arrangement like that? Or do I keep looking?
So the character of Diana Allers is voiced by the actress Jessica Chobot, who, remember when Mass Effect 3 was coming out, G4 was still huge and massively popular. I do kind of miss G4 TV, actually. They tried to bring it back, but then just didn't really catch on and take off like it used to. But she was, you know, one of the mainstays on there and was massively popular, so they brought her into the game, you know, in this role, and people were like, well, she did great. It's like the character itself is just like, you really could have done without it, because, yeah, Mass Effect has a history of, you know, reporters within the game. You know, you have Khaleesi Bensini-Angelani, you have Emily Wong, now you have Diana Allers. It's like, okay. You know, people would actually, they're like, if you had a reporter, they'd rather basically Emily Wong be, you know, be your onboard reporter instead of someone brand new. So, if you turn her down, she embeds on another human ship, which actually gets destroyed and she gets killed. Whereas, if you keep her, which I will, you do get some, you know, some good war assets out of it. So, I'm going to
tell your producers yes, for now. We'll see how it works out. Report to the ship as soon as possible. Any questions?
How much gear can I bring?
1 foot locker.
Aye, aye, Commander.
So that's her. So remember, see how it changed? See, war asset. Now the game's all about war assets. You know, the more you have, the better you are. The less you have, well, the more dicey things will get. So we're going to go see Kaidan now. And this is how the Citadel works now with the elevator. Other areas will open up. But right now it's just these two. And we're going to go see Kaidan now.
Now arriving at Huerta Memorial Hospital.
So this is kind of interesting here. Let's listen in.
So, the nurse tells me you've refused to bathe and you only want to talk to another Asari.
Yes. Can I have a gun?
I'm sorry, no.
Maybe I could be transferred to another hospital then. Someplace unsecured. I could have a gun then, right? And no humans. Wherever you transfer me, it shouldn't have humans.
The humans are our allies. You don't trust them?
No, it's not that. How are my eyes? What color are they right now?
Maybe you could tell me what happened.
Recent intel suggests that the entire Batarian hegemony has been destroyed by an unknown force.
So, okay. Little yap session incoming, so sit back, relax, and grab a drink and a snack, you know, while I, you know, yap away. So basically what happened was, after we destroyed the Alpha Relay, it only delayed, you know, the Reaper invasion by about 6 months. That's the time frame between the end of Arrival to now. is about 6 months. And when the Reapers arrived, they hit the Batarian home system in the Exodus cluster, which I think that's where it is, and hit their home world of Karshan first. So the Batarians were hit straight out the gate. And since the Batarians are not liked at all, and for kind of good reasons too, they didn't have any allies to call upon, so the Batarians are pretty much cooked. There's their history, and there's pretty much not much of them left. That's why you just heard in the Alliance News Network saying that the Batarian hegemony, which is, their ruling government, is pretty much destroyed. So the Batarians, their history. Even if you prevail over the Reapers, when the Batarians are pretty much finished, there's not going to be much left of them. If they do, then stuff's going to change. So they're not going to be any help. So the Reapers invaded and hit the Batarians first, and then made a beeline for the Systems Alliance and humanity because, well, Shepard's human, so that's why, and had great success against them. So that's why the Reapers went to Earth first and starts dominating the local cluster and humanity and all that to begin with, and then going to spread out to the galaxy from there. So that's why if you look at one of these Codex entries, it says let's go to Codex. There's a lot. Just mark them all as viewed, so it's not blinking. So if you do non-council races, nope. Codex, non-council races.
In the early 2160s, the Alliance began aggressive colonization of worlds in the Skyllian Verge, much to the dismay of the Batarians.
Oh yeah, that's also the other thing that's kind of cool. Like, the Codex, they're all voiced. Secondary, they're not. Oh, the Reaper War, that's what I wanted. So you have the fall of Karshan. So it's funny. The lore of Mass Effect is actually really, really deep. Like, if you were to read all these Codex entries and all the descriptions of the planets, which I kind of just blew through, shit runs deep. Like, it rivals any From Software game in terms of lore. Like, it's very well fleshed and thought out. So, like, damn. Like, for instance, here you have the fall of Karshan. For every 1,000 Batarian refugees, there are 1,001 stories about how the Reapers invaded the Batarian systems. A few elements are common to almost every version, however. The Reapers arrived first in the Volvar system, which is where Karshan is located, I think, or maybe not, and immediately destroyed its communications network. The Hegemony's Department of Information Control blamed the loss of signal on space weather, but scrambled ships to the system nonetheless. Within a day, Reaper capital ships, that's the really big ones, appeared in the Harsha system and descended on the Batarian homeworld Karshan. For all the rhetoric about the Hegemony's military prowess, their response to the Reapers was uncoordinated. Moments after the information minister took to the extranet, announced that unknown ships were destroying all space traffic near Karshan, the defense minister declared there was no reason to panic. The planet's comm buoys were destroyed next, creating an ominous silence that has persisted ever since. Fearing they were next, Batarian colonies across Hegemony space began evacuations. So many refugees poured into the human-occupied Exodus cluster that Systems Alliance officials at first thought the Batarians were invading. More systems have gone dark as their comm buoys are destroyed, and millions more Batarians trapped on their planets sit waiting for the Reapers. Then you got the fall of Earth. The Reapers took Earth in a matter of hours. The Alliance knew the first wave would arrive from Batarian space, but they were unprepared for the speed and scale of the attack. The Reapers bypassed the 6th and 7th fleets at Terra Nova and Eden Prime, our old friend, flying straight from relay to relay where they could neither be tracked nor intercepted. Because going through a relay, you can't track somebody. It's just not possible. The tactic was unexpected since the navies of organic species would never risk coming out of FTL within combat range or leaving enemies at their backs to threaten supply lines. At Arcturus Station, which is the headquarters of the entire Systems Alliance, more than a dozen Reaper capital ships engaged the Alliance's 2nd, 3rd, and 5th fleets. The 5th fleet was the one in the Battle of the Citadel that destroyed Sovereign. This was more screening for the main force. Dozens more capital ships continued through the Charon relay, which is orbiting Pluto, where the 1st fleet had been lying in wait but was soon destroyed. The 4th fleet near Earth had a few minutes of advance warning, stood no better chance. After destroying Earth's convoys, smaller Reaper destroyers wiped out all GPS and communication satellites in Earth's orbit and cut the undersea fiber optic cables that link the continents. Earth's resistance now relies on outdated radio towers and a few quantum entanglement communicators, QEC, whose matched pairs happen to be on other continents or outside the Sol system. Communication is so limited that the fate of entire nations remains unknown. The capital ships bombarded defense installations and industrial centers, annihilating entire cities with populations in the low millions, including Adelaide, Hamburg, Al Jubal, and Fort Worth. I don't know where Al Jubal is, but Australia, Germany, and of course, Texas. Meanwhile, Reaper forces descended into the atmosphere to melt roads and capture population centers with minimal loss of life. This is not an example of the Reapers being merciful. More likely, they are harvesting their prey to make the coming harvest that much easier. So if you just read all this stuff, it's just very detailed and so deep in everything. It's actually really, really, really interesting. You know, if you take the time to read all that, you know. It was like, for instance, this is Huerta Memorial Hospital, named after United North American States President Eduardo Huerta, who suffered a stroke, never recovered, and so they put a VI into his brain to kind of help him recover, but he's basically a zombie at this point. So some people consider him dead, others say he's still alive because of that. And it's in proper name's memorial because he's not dead. So that's who... And you only find this stuff out is if you read all those codex entries and stuff like that. Let's see if this person has more to say. Alright, we'll have to come back. Also listening to those news reports as well.
Welcome to Serta.
So let's buy that. Oh, we don't have quite as much money, but we do have some.
Thank you for shopping.
It's Dr. Chakwas.
Shepard, there you are.
Dr. Chakwas, you're here?
I'm working at an Alliance R&D lab down in Shelter Woods, coordinating closely with Admiral Hackett. I heard you escaped Earth in the Normandy, and that someone was critically injured. I came as fast as I could.
We had a run-in with a Cerberus synthetic on Mars. Caden took the worst of it. How's he doing?
Very well, all things considered. I'm impressed with Major Alenko's resilience, as well as Dr. Michel's expertise. I wish I could have been there to help on Mars.
It's been 6 months, Doctor. How have you been?
Good. I've been fortunate. When they impounded Normandy, the Alliance didn't really know what to do with me. I was never officially part of Cerberus, and I'd gotten a proper leave of absence from my previous post.
So you hadn't technically done anything wrong by joining me to defeat the Collectors?
Yes, though I suppose if you were judged to be a war criminal, I would have been tried as an accessory.
So yeah, so you see Dr. Chakwas. She didn't go AWOL, even though she is a member of the Systems Alliance. She never went AWOL because she got proper leave of absence from her post, and she never officially joined Cerberus. So that's why she's just free to go about her business. Now, there was no doctor aboard the Normandy. Obviously, Dr. Chakwas is the Normandy's doctor. So I'm going to say you belong to Normandy. If you don't, if you say you should work in the labs, you get her as a war asset. But she belongs to the Normandy.
Your place is in Normandy's medbay, not some lab.
I couldn't agree more. You say the word, and I'm with you.
The Normandy wouldn't be the same without you, Doctor. Get your things. Docking Bay D-24.
Yes, Commander. And thank you.
Don't thank me so soon. Remember, Joker is still aboard.
And I'd be surprised if he's been remembering his medication.
So if you deny Dr. Chakwas, then remember Dr. Michelle from the first game, who we saved her from being blackmailed and extorted? You're going to have her as your doctor on board the Normandy, although you have to deny Dr. Chakwas first. Then you got to convince Dr. Michelle to be your doctor. It's not a bad. I did it once before. It's not bad having Dr. Michelle as your doctor aboard the Normandy, but it's not the same without Chakwas.
Commander Shepard. Good to see you.
Dr. Michelle, it's been a long time. You've come a long way from that small clinic down in the wards.
Because of you, I don't know where I'd be if you hadn't dealt with Fist and his thugs. Now I'm head physician in a Presidium clinic. You gave me this chance.
Yep.
I assume you're here about Major Alenko.
How is Caden doing?
The head trauma was severe, but we reduced the swelling quickly. These types of injury can go either way. He hasn't regained consciousness yet, but his vitals are strong, so I'm optimistic. You can go see him if you like. He's just down the hall.
This war may leave a lot of injured people homeless. Can the Citadel clinics care for them all?
We're fine now, but I'm worried. Every hospital on the Citadel is preparing for the worst.
Yeah.
I hear the docks are tightly controlled, but we just can't leave people floating out there forever.
How are your medical supplies holding up?
We're well stocked now, but I can't say I'm not worried about the future. We've posted guards on our reserves. War profiteering has already begun.
Of course
With
it
a center
has.
of this size, you must have a lot of direct reports.
We've got 12 full-time doctors and over 50 support staff. It can be overwhelming, quite different from my days in the wards.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, Doctor.
You too, Commander.
According to the Council, these Gallifloid attacks are part of a massive and organized invasion plan.
That was touch and go. Good work, Dr. Freilich.
Narrow splint's still the best course of action.
I'll see if we have the required spatial bindings. Meet you back here.
Recent intel suggests that
Hi, Doctor. Didn't expect to see you again so soon.
Well, we need to prescribe you another round of antibiotics.
For when I ship out?
I have some bad news. Your squad applied the Metagel correctly, but infection had already set in by the time they found you. I'm sorry. I'm afraid we have to remove your leg below the knee.
Damn.
What? But I don't understand. It doesn't even hurt.
It would if we took you off the painkillers, Lieutenant.
Damn. Nobody in there. Alright, here's Caden. Shirtless. Nice. Huh.
Hey, Caden. Dunno if you can hear me. But since you can't tell me to get the hell out either, I'm gonna take my chances. Don't die, Caden. You've got to fight. We need you in this. Seeing you in action again, it reminded me you're a hell of a soldier. The Alliance could sure use you. I could use you. You need anything, Doc, let me know. Come on, Caden. Fight. And that's an order.
So I have to give him that Peruvian whiskey we bought later, after he wakes up. So for Mass Effect 3, they actually did... So in Mass Effect 1, Caden was a femshep romance option. But for Mass Effect 3, they actually did make Caden a romance option for male Shepard, if you want to do that. So they did make that an option. So Caden now in Mass Effect 3 is a romance option for both male and female Shepard, if you wanted. All right, let's go meet the council and tell them that they can't, they can't help us again.
We were deployed to Tiptree. It's a small human colony. We were supposed to help with evac. The enemy was landing. Just scouts, the Turian things, a few of the big ones. We were spread over half the continent, getting colonists to shuttles, wiping out husks.
It sounds like you were doing good work.
Could I have a gun? I'd feel a lot better.
Just tell me what happened at Tiptree.
We're going to keep coming back to that because there is a point that I'm doing all of that. Alright, let's go to the embassies. Because if you really pay attention to stuff, it's all interconnected and is all pretty damn deep. You know. Do you have a career waiting in internal affairs?
Please
CSEC.
tell the Primacy that the Vol Protectorate wishes to assist with the Alliance project. We had a Prothean obelisk that might have helped. Sadly, it was lost in the Shrike Abyssal. Nevertheless, we are committed to helping both the Turian Empire and the Human Alliance.
So we just got an we just got a side quest.
According to the Council, these galaxy-wide
Colony life. Advertisement for a colony. Join the fight. Nice picture of Admiral Hackett.
But we spoke about this already. I told you about his mission and...
Nonsense. I just filled out the paperwork. He's very punctual when he's on the field. He checks in every week. Only, he hasn't checked in for a while now. A month. Anyway, I'd like to file an expedited contact request.
Yes, of course, ma'am. But the notes on his file state he's not under a contact ban.
Oh, you already looked. How kind of you. I'm just so worried. It's not like him to go quiet for so long.
As soon as I get news, ma'am, I'll let you know as soon as I get news.
Thank you. You're such a nice young woman. You know, you remind me of my daughter-in-law.
So apparently this woman is trying to contact her son, who is in the Alliance, and she hasn't heard from him, you know. So we'll see how that plays out too. Like I said, this stuff is just, it runs deep if you let it, you know. So you see here's CSEC Commander Bailey's office, and then that's the Spectre office, and you got Earth Counselor Donald Udina. So let's go meet the
Commander,
council.
Counselor Udina said you'd be coming. If you'll follow me, the council is already in session.
We've got our own problems, Counselor. Earth is not in this alone.
But Earth was the first Council world hit. By all reports, it faces the brunt of the attack.
By your reports.
The reports are accurate. Earth was attacked by the Reapers. And it's just the beginning.
Yep.
We need your help. Everything you can spare.
Each of us faces a similar situation. Even now, the Reapers are pressing on our borders. If we lend you our strength to help Earth, our own worlds will fall.
We must fight this enemy together.
And so we should just follow you to Earth?
Even if we were to unite our fleets, do you really believe we could defeat the Reapers?
I don't expect you to follow me without a plan.
Counselors, we have that plan, a blueprint, created by the Protheans during their war with the Reapers.
A blueprint for what?
We're still piecing it together. But it appears to be a weapon of some sort.
Capable of destroying the Reapers?
So it would seem.
The scales. It would be a colossal undertaking.
No. I forwarded the plans to Admiral Hackett. The remnants of the human fleet are already gathering resources to begin construction.
Our initial calculations suggest...
Have you considered that the Reapers destroyed the Protheans?
Sorry?
What good did this weapon do?
It was incomplete. There was a missing component, here. Something referred to only as the Catalyst. But they ran out of time before they could finish building it.
I hit the spacebar by accident.
Do you really believe this can stop the Reapers?
Liara believes it can work, and so do I. And while I haven't always agreed with Udina, he's right about this. We need to stand together. Now more than ever. The Reapers won't stop at Earth. They'll destroy every organic being in the galaxy if we don't find a way to stop them.
The cruel and unfortunate truth is that while the Reapers focus on Earth, we can prepare and regroup.
We are convening a summit amongst our species. If we can manage to secure our own borders, we may once again consider aiding you.
I'm sorry, Commander. That is the best we can do.
Shepard, meet me in my office.
I hope that's an offer of support. I'll be digging up what I can on this Prothean device, Shepard.
Damn council.
They're a bunch of self-concerned jackasses, Shepard.
Yes, they are.
We may have a spot on the council, but humanity will always be considered second-rate.
How can they be so blind?
They're scared, and they're looking out for themselves.
Yep.
Our people are scared, and we are looking out for them the best we know how.
Counselor?
Commander, I can't give you what you need, but I can tell you how to get it.
I'm listening.
Primarch Fedorian called the War Summit, but we lost contact with him when the Reapers hit Palaven. Those meetings won't proceed without him. The Normandy is one of the few ships that can extract Primarch Fedorian undetected.
So far, you've only explained how I can help you.
It might seem that way. But the leaders of this summit will be the ones deciding our future. The fate of our fleets, where they fight, and with whom. A grateful Primarch would be a tremendous ally in your bid to unite us.
We're at war, and you want me to play politician?
If it gets you what you need, what does it matter?
She's got a
Our
point.
latest intelligence says that the Primarch was moved to a base on Palaven's largest moon. I've done all I can to help. The rest is up to you.
Better than nothing. Finally.
There is one other thing. The Council wanted me to tell you, we've chosen to uphold your Spectre status. And various resources will be made available to you. Good day.
Well, that went well.
It's a start. I'll talk to the others in the meantime. See if we can support this summit. Move things along.
Thanks.
So, apparently, if in Mass Effect 2, if you had chosen Udina as counselor then, and told the council, screw you, I don't want to be a Spectre anymore, they wouldn't make you a Spectre in this one. Like, you wouldn't have that status. You know, but since Anderson was counselor, and I accepted their offer, that's why I'm still a Spectre here. So it's kind of interesting that it's not always guaranteed.
The Council. You saved their lives.
See what Anderson
and
has
for
to say.
what? Apologies that boil down to maybe later. If we don't figure out something, maybe later will be an epitaph on a mass grave of 11 billion.
I know what I'm gonna do. What are you gonna do?
Humanity has created some goodwill in the galaxy. Now we cash in our chips. I will get what funding I can, what materials I can, and spread the message. Help the humans, help yourselves. I'll institute a draft in our colonies and order all civilian ships armed. Work on the Prothean device will be around the clock.
Any news from Earth?
There is constant news. All of it bad.
I mean, yeah.
The Reapers are destroying satellites and the old nuclear missile silos, along with everything else that could help. We have a handful of quantum entanglers spread out over the continents. All other communication is cut.
As we read in the Codex entry.
What's your read on the counselors? Any angles I could pursue?
Tavos is a diplomat and compromiser, but she's wrapped up in defending Asari space like a mother panther. Valorn is out of his depth. The Solarians like their wars won before they start. They're frightened now. Use that. In Sparatus, I'd take what he offers. It's strange days when the Turians are the least hostile to humans. And there's a need there.
You're a Citadel counselor. Don't you have options when the others block you like this?
With Parliament destroyed and Shastri gone, I have more power than any human in history. But today, you saw how little that is. Rest assured, I will not be counted out long. I know I can move mountains. Do not lose sight of that, because the task before us is moving planets.
Anderson would be proud, so long as you deliver. You think you can do that?
You need a carrot or a stick to drive a mule, and humanity has neither right now. Our armada is tied down fighting or fleeing, and with Earth's comm buoys gone, our economy is reduced to an IOU. But leave that part to me. I will lean on our colonies for all they're worth, and I can broker enough trade to repair and resupply Hackett's fleet.
Did you know a lot of people on Earth?
Many. It's monstrous to think of them being snuffed out, of course, but the part that gets me is Arcturus. I must have known most of the Alliance Parliament on a first-name basis. I required a second VI just to track all their birthdays and anniversaries. Rose Garden stuff, but to have it all gone.
Damn.
I should go.
I'll be here.
So yeah, so the three most powerful people in human history right now is probably Udina, Admiral Hackett, and Shepard. You know, Udina was his counselor, and the, you know, Prime Minister of the Alliance, of the Systems Alliance, is dead. So politically, he's most powerful. You got Admiral Hackett, who leads all of Earth's armies. You know, he's literally the top of the top. So he's got that. So you have military, and then Shepard, who's got the most influence, trying to put this all together. Three most powerful humans in history right here. All right.
There is no anti-humanity conspiracy here, Ms.
Oh, look, who it
Al-Jilani.
is.
The Council's simply not granting interviews at this time.
My viewers are going to know that CSEC and the Council are denying them access.
Listen, lady, you think I like playing gatekeeper between the paparazzi and the politicians? I don't have time to babysit them, and I'm not here to hold your hand.
Well, I'm camping out until I'm granted an audience.
Fine. I hope you brought a sleeping bag.
That's why Bailey's awesome.
Commander Shepard? Commander, humanity has questions.
Damn press.
See, you're keeping the peace.
Yeah, I feel like a glorified doorman.
Most people would see it as a move up.
Wedged in here with all the stuffed shirts? I'd rather be back down on the streets. I appreciate the higher pay grade, but I'm not a political creature.
If you didn't want to be upped, why'd you accept?
You don't say no to Counselor Udina. Well, maybe you would, but I gotta live here. I know, squeaky wheel gets the oil, but I didn't lobby for promotion like some other officers. I'm not even sure why he picked me. I never know with politicians. I hate political BS.
Yeah.
Don't lose your edge. You might need it.
Oh, wouldn't mind an excuse to get my fingers dirty. It's killing me about Earth.
You and me both.
I haven't been back in years. Now I may never. If this ain't the end of days, it's pretty damn close.
So remember, Bailey's got an ex-wife and children back on Earth, and who the hell knows if they're alive or not. All right, let's talk
Commander
to
Shepard. Commander,
her.
the people of the Alliance have questions. Commander Shepard, Khalisah bint Sin and Al-Jilani. Isn't it true that you were on Earth when the Reapers attacked? How do you justify running away while millions of people on Earth die? Is that the best we can expect?
Not going to do the
from
renegade
Alliance?
interrupt here.
I came to get help for Earth. For everyone.
What about all the people suffering while you play politics with the Council? What about them? How can you stand here while our families die? What are you going to do?
Khalisah, we're doing everything we can.
Before they cut the feeds, there were so many dead.
I'm gonna stop the Reapers or die trying. But I need your help. Keep asking the hard questions. Don't let the Council forget about Earth.
I will. Thank you, Commander. We haven't always seen eye to eye, but I'm glad you're on our side.
And so, since I did not punch her in the first game or the second game, got her as a war asset this time. However, if you do punch her in the first or second game or both, you don't get her as a war asset at all. If I had done the Renegade Interrupt, which my camera's obviously covering that up. If I'd done that time, she would have actually, I would have went to go punch her a third time, and she ducks it. And then if you don't do the second renegade interrupt that pops up, she actually punches you back. But if you do that second renegade interrupt, you duck her punch and you punch her a third time, and basically just tell her to like stay down, pretty much. So I got her as a war asset. Let's talk to James.
Hey, Commander. Liara told me the Council's not interested in helping us.
Something like that.
Why would they? Look at this place. There's no war here. People are whispering about it. They're talking about it, but they don't really believe it.
I take it this is your first time here? With the elite of the galaxy?
I've been to the Citadel, but never up here on the Presidium. It's not right. It looks pretty, calm and peaceful. But it's not right. It's all just an illusion.
It was peaceful. Once.
But was it? Really? I mean, when push comes to shove, they're just gonna turtle up. Hope it don't hit them too, right? They'd rather believe in this than face the truth.
I can hardly believe it myself. Like everything back on Earth was some kind of nightmare.
Yeah. That's what I hate most. It's like this place wants you to forget that.
Yeah.
So, you still want to go back to Earth?
Hell yeah, but...
But?
You were right. So was Anderson. We can't stop them alone. Besides, looks like you're gonna have your hands full convincing these pendejo politicians to help us. And I'm up for it. Whatever it takes.
Glad to hear it.
I'm gonna head down to some of the lower levels where they keep it real. You got some spare time? You should come and find me.
Maybe I'll do that.
So James is... So remember how Mass Effect 2 basically just had a star-studded ensemble cast? Well, obviously that doesn't change. Those characters will be back. We'll see them, you know. But in this game, James is voiced none other than by actor Freddie Prinze Jr. So, once again, the lack of star power just still doesn't stop because they brought him in to voice James.
Welcome, Commander Shepard. Please, one moment, please. Now arriving at
Our next visit to the
Bay
Citadel,
24.
the other floors will open up. So you see, here's the Normandy. Strange sequence right now. Look, it's the little boy playing with his toy starfighter. This is why some people don't think that he's real. He could be, because nobody sees him, but it could be real. It could be just a mental projection of Shepard. It was all a dream. Used to read Word Up magazine. There's a few of those dream sequences throughout the game.
Liara, Can I help you?
I've been forwarding the Turian Counselor information on the Prothean device. It can't be built without Council support, but he's not budging until their Primarch is safe.
I know.
Are you all right?
So that dream sequence we just had, some people will just think they don't like it at all, and they've actually modded it out of the game. But there's another one. There's a mod called Dreams Reimagined. I've seen that mod. So I do mod some games, but overall, not most of them. Like this, I've never modded any of the Mass Effect ones. But I've seen the Dreams Reimagined mod, and oh my, it is so good. Like, if you're into modding your games and you play this, you gotta get the Dreams Reimagined mod because it fits so well and makes that sequence so much better. It's really nice.
I didn't get what you'd call a good night's rest.
There's more to it than that, isn't there? What's really bothering you?
When the Reapers hit, I could hear people screaming in the streets below me. We left a lot of them behind.
There's no way for you to save them all. But I know you're doing everything you can, and you'll get back there in time to help.
I hope you're right.
Don't blame yourself, Commander.
Commander Shepard, I'm Specialist... Oh. I beg your pardon. I thought you were alone.
I was just leaving.
Commander Shepard, I'm Comm Specialist Samantha Traynor with Alliance R&D. I was part of the team retrofitting the Normandy after you turned it over to the Alliance. There weren't many of us aboard when the Reapers hit.
Slow down, Specialist Trainer. You're doing fine.
Thank you. I worked in a lab. I never thought I'd be serving on a ship.
Why don't you tell me about the retrofits?
The ship's in line with Alliance regs now, and it has new, top-of-the-line, quantum entanglement communicators. In fact, Admiral Anderson had intended to use the Normandy as his mobile command center.
That's no longer an option.
Yep.
Yes, I heard he chose to stay and fight. In any event, I'm honored to serve under you, Commander. For as long as you need me, that is. They only sent me here to oversee the retrofits.
Shepard, some of our systems require further testing, and Specialist Trainer has been extremely effective during installation. I would prefer that she remain.
Got it, EDI.
Wait, since when does a virtual intelligence make requests?
EDI's an AI. Fully self-aware.
Oh, I knew it. I knew Joker was lying.
Jeff requested that I pretend to be a simple VI to protect myself. I apologize for the deception.
Thanks, EDI, and I apologize for all those times I talked about how... attractive your voice
That's
was.
gotta be awkward.
Anyway, shall I give you a tour? I think you'll be impressed by the new upgrades. In the CIC, you'll find the galaxy map where you can set the Normandy's destination.
Yeah.
You can also check your messages at your private terminal. The War Room houses a strategic command center for mission-specific intel and war analysis. The shuttle bay contains an armory where you can modify your equipment between missions. Finally, Liara has set up a lot of hardware down in the old XO office on Deck 3. I think she's claimed that room. And there you are. Still the same ship as before, it just flies Alliance colors now. Speaking of which, I believe Admiral Hackett would like to speak to you at the VidCom.
Commander, Udina updated me on your meeting with the Council. Sounds like they're running scared.
Yep.
We did present them with a lot of unknowns. They're feeling threatened and want immediate solutions, not theories.
Theories are all we've got right now. What's your plan?
I'm trying to get the Turian Primarch for a summit meeting with the Asari and Solarians. I'll bypass the Council and appeal directly to their leadership.
Yep.
That's good, I like it. This is where we start laying the groundwork for our counterattack.
Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot to back it up right now.
Then build alliances. Gather everything and everybody you can for the cause.
What about the Prothean device?
Find me people who can help build it, and if you can't, I'll take ships, soldiers, supplies, whatever you can get. We need to keep hitting the Reapers across every theater of war they open. buy us time to figure out the device.
And when it's finished?
Assuming it ever is, we pool all our resources. Think of it as a giant armada for delivering the device when the Reapers are most vulnerable. The stronger you can make that armada, the better the chances of punching through.
What about Earth, sir?
We'll just have to hope Anderson and what's left of the Alliance forces can hold out until we've dealt with the enemy.
I understand.
Good. Then make it happen, Commander. I'll be expecting regular updates on your progress. Hack it out.
So on a side note, it feels good to be back in an Alliance uniform again, because Shepard's an Alliance soldier. So it's good to be back with the Alliance. And as you saw, we got a new, I won't say yeoman, but comm specialist Samantha Trainer, who is a romance option for fem shep only, not male shep, but only for fem shep, if you want. So you can see they redesigned the Normandy for this game. Here's the war room that Trainer was talking about. And this is where your war assets are. See, the people, weapons, armies, and fleets that you've accumulated are your war assets. The overall readiness of the galaxy determines how effectively these assets will perform in the final battle. So you have your total military strength here. And then, obviously, by the time we get to the final mission, we'll be past this line. But, depending on what you do, you can either be over here, 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 but you'll definitely be past it. And you can read about each one and see how much they're contributing. Like here, Alliance. The Systems Alliance represents humanity's economic, political, and military reach throughout the galaxy. Its naval forces are led by Admiral Stephen Hackett. Go in it, you have, it's made up of the engineering corps. The engineering corps, you know, they have description, 130, 103rd Marine Division, 1st Fleet, 3rd Fleet, 5th Fleet, and then, like I said, Diana Allers 5. So the Normandy, depending on how many minerals you mined at the end of Mass Effect 2, this number will change. So it's contributing 115, but it could be like 90 or 100 or whatever, it changes. Same thing. Also, however many upgrades you put to it as well. See here, mineral resources. Yeah, Commander Shepard uncovered significant elemental deposits while scanning planets with the Normandy SR2. When the Alliance dry docked the Normandy, they seized all recovered elements. This material surplus has gone towards building the Prothean device discovered on Mars. And then, since I didn't hit her, got 10. So this is where now it's all about, you know, maximizing your war assets and stuff. So interesting enough, if I had killed the Council in Mass Effect 1, part of the Alliance would be, if you remember, Snap Inspection Rear Admiral Boris Mikhailovich, who hated the Normandy's design. If you kill the Council in Mass Effect 1, he survives the battle of the Citadel, and you get him as a war asset in Mass Effect 3. And then not only that, also if you kill the Council, these numbers get inflated a little bit because, you know, humanity's fleet wasn't decimated as much because they let the Council die. Interesting also, some of these you'll notice, you'll get them, and then they'll have it updated. So like here it says, you know, Westerland News reporter Khaleesa bin Sin al-Jalani reached out recently to her viewers with a wartime plea for unity and cooperation among all galactic species. Updated. Her sincerity touched extranet viewers, and donations for war relief efforts are pouring in both to the Alliance and its alien allies. So basically, since I really didn't hit her at all, and I stayed Paragon, I got her asset, it's 10 instead of 5. You're going to see that all game. So now, Mass Effect 3 used to have a multiplayer aspect to it, and to introduce the multiplayer maps, there's side missions, which I will do, you know. And the whole thing about it was they wanted you to do the multiplayer as well, because when you did the multiplayer, the galaxy map was divided up into different areas: the Attican Traverse, you know, the Council space, Alliance space, the Terminus systems, all that. And how, depending on the missions you did there, it would raise their readiness. Well, if you got all that readiness up to like 100%, which wasn't that hard to do between all the players, your total military strength would be whatever it is. But if you didn't play the multiplayer for you at all, then everything would always sit at 50%, and you'd only get half. And this bar would only represent half whatever your total military strength is. So that's why I give you the incentive to play it to to affect the single player game. Obviously, when they made the Legendary Edition, they completely scrapped the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which really wasn't that bad. I liked it. I played it. I had fun with it. But yeah, they just scrapped it. So that's why whatever your total military strength here is, it'll be down here. It's no more half of this crap. And then there's models. Remember the models in the second game? They have them in the third one. They're just kind of scattered everywhere, and you can buy some. Here's a conference room.
I can't believe the council won't help.
Come on. If Thestia was lost and Earth hadn't been touched yet, you can be damn sure we'd be guarding our own borders.
It's true. Oh, the CIC?
Commander, the Alliance has found a new Cerberus lab on Sanctum. Admiral Hackett would like you to investigate.
So those N7 missions are going to be what was originally supposed to introduce the multiplayer maps, which I'll do, but salute me. Read our messages later. You see, it's mostly the same Normandy, just little small changes here and there.
Hey, Commander. I had my doubts about the Council. But after years of ignoring your warnings, they're finally willing to step up and tell you they just can't help.
They're doing everything they can.
Did they at least validate our parking?
True.
Well, let me know if you want me to get them on the channel and then hang up on them. For old time's sake.
Yeah. Good to see Joker still in fine form.
Commander, you've got a new message at your private terminal.
Yeah, I'll get to it. They sealed off Jacob's area, because remember they moved the armory. Let's talk to her.
Commander, come to check on your new recruit.
Just wanted to see how you were doing.
Still trying to get my bearings. When I was working on the Normandy's upgrades, I left at the end of the day. I didn't even have a toothbrush or a change of clothing until I made some emergency purchases on the system.
Get over it.
Next time you need something, just ask. We're all in this together.
Oh, it's no trouble, Commander. I'm sure you have larger concerns.
We can put in a requisition order.
My toothbrush is a Cision Pro Mark IV. It uses tiny Mass Effect fields to break up plaque and massage the gums. It costs 6,000.
Damn!
Okay, yeah. You're on your own with that.
In any event, I appreciate you giving me the chance to stay. Was there anything else?
How much does a normal toothbrush cost? That specialty thing costs 6,000 credits. Holy shit.
How'd you end up in the military anyway?
My family didn't have money for university. When the Alliance saw my aptitude scores, they offered me a full scholarship. I served my required years after graduation and decided to stay. I really like the challenges of the lab. Although, I'm sure I'll grow to love frontline service as well.
I'm surprised you're worrying about a toothbrush. We've got bigger problems right now.
Oh, believe me. Seeing the Reapers on Earth was terrifying. But I won't help anybody by bursting into tears here in the CIC, will I? Being here on the Normandy helps. If anyone in the galaxy can stop the Reapers, it's you. And if flagging your messages and managing strategic intel helps you in any way, then it's worth it.
You worked in Alliance R&D?
Yes. You'd think quantum entanglement would make communication easy, but imagine incorporating multiple incoming sources and then networking them with extrapolations of time-lag data to construct a coherent situation GUI. It's an exciting challenge. For me, anyway.
Okay.
Where are you from originally?
A colony in the Terminus systems, actually. Though I studied on Earth, at Oxford. My parents were from London. They loved Earth, but they wanted the freedom a colony life could offer. Even if that freedom has its share of danger. If I recall correctly, you grew up on Mindwar.
Yep.
Given what happened to Earth, I don't think we can count on anywhere being safe right now.
Quite true, Commander.
Carry on, Specialist.
See. Okay, so yeah, Special Ops from Admiral Hackett. Shepard, Alliance forces are stretched thin across the galaxy. We need your specific talents for a series of ops. These missions will open doors for the Alliance in places we can't touch through conventional means. We'll deploy operatives to hold point after you've completed your objectives. I need you to head to a Cerberus lab on the planet Sanctum. Brief you when you're inbound. Hack it. That's the multiplayer stuff that they just never took this out. Reinstatement. From Hackett, Commander Shepard. This letter formally acknowledges your reinstatement into the Alliance Navy per Admiral David Anderson's recent verbal communication. Under Emergency War Powers Regulation 903.5, you are hereby authorized to assume command of the Normandy SR-2. You are directed to begin interdiction operations against any and all enemies posing a threat to Earth, its colonies, and its allies. Furthermore, you are granted diplomatic authority to establish treaties with non-human races as required to support your mission. Sincerely, Admiral Stephen Hackett. Emergency Flash Traffic Unit. Emergency Flash Traffic. Urgent. From Alliance Fleet Operations. Flash. X1A.34. All Alliance military personnel. This is a galaxy-wide alert for all human territories. Fleet Admiral Hackett has declared threat condition Saber 1. Enemy presence confirmed in Sol System. Earth under Reaper attack. All Alliance military personnel are directed to evacuate Sol System at first available opportunity. Do not attempt Earth approach. Heavy enemy resistance reported. Repeat, do not attempt Earth approach. Further instructions to follow on coded channel Crimson Tacit. Earth-based Alliance personnel unable to evacuate are directed to commence any and all necessary countermeasures. All remaining Alliance personnel outside Sol Theater are directed to muster at pre-appointed staging areas and commence offensive combat operations at first available opportunity. In absence of further instructions, independent action is authorized. Basically saying that when your commanding officer is killed, fight back whoever you see fit. K9. Subject, my dog. Dear Commander Shepard, I was a contractor working on Normandy's haptic interface when it was in dry dock. Your VI, Edie, emailed me to let me know I left my dog mech on board. I'm all the way out in Terra Nova now and would hate for you to go a few million clicks out of your way to drop off my dog. Please just take care of her. She likes exploring, sniffing chemical trails and 750-volt outlets. Thank you and sorry for the trouble. I promise she won't be too much of a headache. Andrea Brown. So this one little thing. So if you bought the collector's edition, if you bought the Mass Effect 3 collector's edition back then, which I did, that's also, by the way, when collector's editions were less than $100, not the $200 to $500 or $2,000, whatever the ridiculous price they are now. One of the things you got with the collector's edition was this little robotic mech dog that is on Normandy that does nothing but wander around. You can interact with it, say hi. It's just a little thing, but that's what that is. Alliance News Network alert. Quarian Fleet. By Ruxius Rylus, ANN contributor. Citadel. Where's the Quarian Fleet? The latest intelligence shows that the Reapers are taking system after system at a feverish pace. Members of all races are fleeing their stations, colonies, and in some cases their homeworlds. This kind of forced exodus might seem especially familiar to the nomadic Quarians, who were pushed off their homeworld by the synthetic Geth centuries ago. But as the galaxy pushes back against the Reapers, the Quarians are conspicuously absent. Turian and Alliance spokespeople cannot provide the fleet's current location. They say they have other concerns at the moment. Whatever the Quarians are up to, they want it kept secret from the Council. After a refueling stop at Ilium, the fleet left no stated destination, and there are also reports of a galaxy-wide call for all young adult Quarians to abandon their pilgrimages to rejoin the fleet. Greedy and short-sighted powers will always try to gain the upper hand in times of galactic crisis. We can only hope that whatever the Quarians are planning does not interfere with the only thing that should matter, stopping the Reapers. Read Ruxius Rylus' regular column of View of the Empire exclusively on ANN. So you'll see what that's about. Welcome back, Gift. While we were in dry dock, Joker suggested that a small welcoming gift would be appropriate to have on hand should you be reinstated as commanding officer. As the ship does not have the capacity to accommodate the dancers he suggested, I chose something from the Official Systems Alliance catalog. Soldiers who have held an N7 designation for 5 years or more are entitled to a commemorative hooded jacket for wear on off-duty hours. You'll find it among the selection of casual clothing in your cabin. Edie. Once again, if you bought the collector's edition, this is what you got. I'll show it to you in a second, but this is what you got from the collector's edition if you bought it. If you didn't, you didn't miss out on this. you have an upgrade in it. Glyph. That's Liara's Shadow Broker little droid, little VI droid. Dear Commander Shepard, some of the data you found allowed me to research an upgrade for you. Simply access the terminal in Dr. Sony's office at your convenience, and you may choose how and what to implement it. Have a pleasant day. Glyph. Priority mission, Eden Prime, from Alliance Command. Commander, Cerberus has attacked Eden Prime and is now occupying the colony. Alliance forces are stretched too thin right now to attempt to liberate the colony, but we've been doing what we can to covertly aid the local resistance. In the process, we've learned that Cerberus has uncovered a major Prothean artifact. We don't know what it is, but it appears to be the reason for the attack on the colony. We need you to infiltrate the colony and recover the artifact. So this is actually Javik. So this is one of the things that pissed people off when Mass Effect 3 was released. It's day one DLC. This is the DLC character Javik, who everyone was, like I said, if you bought the collector's edition, you got Javik included in it. If you didn't, then even if you got the deluxe edition, you had to buy Javik. This is what really pissed people off. It was day one DLC. Everyone's like, create the character. Why not just put him into the game? Why you gotta have this obvious money grab? So this is Javik. So you could do it right away, but I like to save Javik for getting Javik to later on, just to hear more lore and squad mate interaction and everything. But you can get him anytime now, So we're gonna save it, but we're gonna continue to explore the ship. But I'll be right back. I need to grab something to drink because all that yapping's got my throat a little dry. So I will be back. All right. So let's go there last. Let's go to the crew deck. So remember all those dog tags we got in the Normandy Crash Site DLC Mass Effect 2? Here they are. Here's everyone. It's all those names in alphabetical order. Of course, you see Ashley's up there as well. You know. So, Requiescat in pace. Starboard observation. Of course, Thane's old life support room. Port observation, it's a poker table, a bar. Looks like a little tanning booth, maybe. Same thing, mess area. Dr. Chakwa's area.
Commander?
Everything okay down here, Doctor?
The Alliance team cleaned up and restocked, but it's still my old med bay. Feels like home.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Let's waste no time. If I may, I'd like to examine you.
Guess a checkup never hurts. Just no scalpel this time, Doc.
Alas, to my great disappointment, it is nothing invasive. I'm just going to run some diagnostics on your implants, and it'll take a few readings. Good. Your implants are showing little sign of rejection. Just keep up that positive outlook of yours, Commander, and your scars shouldn't return. That's it. You're the picture of health.
Do you ever regret working for Cerberus?
We didn't work for them. We used them. If I were to feel anything, it would be guilt. We took their money, took their best people, took their best ship. We used them to defeat the Collectors, and now we are using their resources against them.
It's true.
So no, I don't regret it one bit.
You've never mentioned any of your family.
None to speak of, really. I'm the last of a prestigious line of medical professionals. The Alliance is my spouse, and you're all my children.
Okay.
I'm blessed with many close friends. But with each Alliance vessel taken, I lose one or two. We need to end this war.
Yep.
How's our inventory of meds?
The medbay was fully stocked before you left Earth. We should be good for a long time, even given the amount of fire you take each day.
I'll see you around, Doctor.
Take care, Shepard.
So, if I was a renegade and I had all these scars and everything, you know, then Chakwas would have told me that, yeah, they're really acting up and irritating and being aggressive, and they're trying to be more positive. Or, if I had spent the resources on the medbay surgery and got the scars basically filled in with gel, she would have commented that the gel is holding and reacting well, so that way I can be a renegade without having them there. But I'm a Paragon. So once again, the forward battery, but we can actually go more in here. Go forward, more forward in it. And then Liar's office.
Commander Shepard, it's a pleasure to see you again.
You're the drone from the Shadow Broker's ship.
Dr. Tassoni now refers to me as Glyph instead of Info Drone, 95% of the time. If you have a moment, I'd like to draw your attention to a terminal in her office. It analyzes information packages. If you find any useful data, I can research upgrades for you.
And what should I be looking for?
I'll inform you if you found relevant data. When you do, return to this terminal for your choices. In the meantime, Dr. Tassoni would like to speak with you. Have a pleasant day.
So...
The council didn't go too well, huh?
It was less than ideal.
I'm shocked.
At least the Council can't deny the Reapers exist.
That's true.
But I'm not sure how much comfort that is while they bicker over which portion of the galaxy to save.
Wow. Becoming the big info brokers turned you into a real cynic, Liara. I like it.
I'm flattered. I think.
So obviously, if you didn't, like I said, if you didn't do the Lair of the Shadow Broker DLC, this is where you'd find out that Liara is the Shadow Broker. You know, because that's what the little drone would have told you. You can ask Liara about how she became it, and that's when she would say that the Alliance helped her become the broker. But we already know all this.
Looks like you brought more than just that drone from your ship.
A few things were necessary. I'd be a very silent Shadow Broker without data feeds.
So you have access to your resources?
What I can get. We'll need it to research this Prothean device. Until we understand precisely what it does, it's far too dangerous to use.
Did the Protheans actually complete this weapon?
You mean, will it work? They wouldn't have poured their last resources into this device if they thought otherwise. But we really need to find out just what kind of weapon they left us.
It'd be nice to know we're not kids playing around with a loaded gun.
Absolutely. The damage it could cause if it backfired is unthinkable. People were finally starting to listen before the Reapers came. If we'd had a little more time, maybe Earth wouldn't. I'm sorry. I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
The thought means a lot, Liara. Thanks.
You're welcome. And since I didn't mention it before, it's good to be back, Shepard.
So let's... So... Armor kit. That's what we got. That's what the upgrade was. So we can either do ammo or shield strength on this. So I'm going to do ammo. You can see this is the upgrades we already have. And this is Liara's Shadow Broker.
This terminal contains non-essential correspondence from your allied forces. Dr. Tassoni has granted you access.
It's like message from Operative Farron to the broker. Made contact with Tazik yesterday. The look on his face was priceless. He's not happy you put me in charge of scouting the terminus systems, but he's doing a good job of keeping us alive. I've never seen so many pirates and mercs on edge. The black market's unreliable, and it's getting harder to make contact with suppliers. The Alliance won't be able to rely on its ion as a source of crucible materials for long if things get worse. Some of the other operatives think we should cut our losses now, but I just kept asking them, when did the odds ever stop the broker? Farron. P.S. I hope you finally got our little friend Droney to stop saying shadow and broker out loud in the same sentence anytime to anyone in sight. So Liara's Prothean notes from 2171 to 2185. Glyph. Remind me to clean up these notes, these old notes. Perhaps reviewing them will lead to something useful for the Prothean device. 2171. The University of Ceres agreed to sponsor me at the Prothean dig on Daytrop. Very exciting. Professor Hanel is heading the expedition herself. Maybe I can even ask her for her opinion on my thesis outline. Attachment, thesis on Prothean first contact protocols. 2174. I believe Dr. Joshua was right to suggest that the Prothean artifacts we unearthed are from the Third Age, not the Fourth. What an embarrassing mistake. At least he seemed to approve of the rest of the paper. Attachment, paper on a comparison of Prothean technology to modern Asari circuit logic. 2183, Part 1. I'm going on the Therum expedition. I never thought I'd gain permission to visit the Prothean ruins there, but the University of Ceres must have secured the funding after all. Now to pack. Attachment, paper on the end of the Prothean Empire. So this is right before we met Liara for the first time. 2183, Part 2. Goddess. This human shepherd has the key to comprehending the Protheans on an instinctual subconscious level. If only I could have been there when the commander touched the beacon on Eden Prime. I'll try to learn more about this, more about the cipher on board the Normandy. The involvement of the Reapers is troubling to say the least. Attachment, paper on the end of the Prothean Empire with correction notes. Then 2185. I reviewed the old Shadow Brokers footage of the Collectors. It's chilling to know that they're the Protheans' husks. At least nothing sentient could possibly remain on what the Reapers did to them. Attachment, paper on Prothean biology. Few more stops. So you got engineering. So this is where Diana Allers is.
How's your new assignment working out, Allers?
Fairly normal, except for the unshackled AI, Matriarch Benezia's daughter, and the communicator that can reach Earth. The first two, I can deal with. That last one gets my attention.
So what are you asking for exactly?
Anything from Earth is the lead story right now. That's not opinion, it's fact.
Maybe I can pass on a few non-classified progress updates.
Seriously? You just doubled my ratings. I don't need FaceTime, just a data upload.
Tell people what's really happening on Earth. We need long recruiting lines on every planet after you air a story.
I can do this, Commander. Remind me to tell you about the time I made an Elcor cry.
That sounds interesting. So that was where Zaid used to be. Then we go down to where Jack used to be. And we get a model. And another model. Oh, and the space hamster. So if you don't get him there, he'll be back again. But we just got the space hamster and another model. So they're all scattered throughout the ship. And look who it is. It's Engineer Adams from Mass Effect 1.
Commander, welcome back to the Normandy. Or maybe you should be saying that to me.
Engineer Adams, what are you doing here?
I was put in charge of the drive core retrofits. My experience on the Normandy SR-1 made me an obvious choice.
So, what do you think of our SR-2?
She's incredible. If there's one nice thing I can say about Cerberus, it's that they know how to build a ship. And about that, Cerberus, I mean, I owe you an apology.
How so?
Back when you got this ship, Dr. Chakwas contacted me, asking me to help with your mission against the Collectors. I refused. I didn't have your back, and I'm sorry for that.
Why didn't you join us?
I saw what happened to you when the Normandy went down.
Yeah.
I didn't trust that it was really you, and I certainly didn't trust Cerberus. Also, as an officer of the Alliance, I don't just leave my post.
That's true.
Your Alliance first. That's the way it should be.
Thank you, Commander. Glad to be aboard.
Is your family okay?
My parents are serving on Viridian Zenith, an Alliance agricultural vessel. My sister is a navigator on the SSV Benjamin Davis. Happy to report that both vessels are safely under Hackett's command.
That's good.
Does the new Normandy stack up to the old SR-1?
Stack up. It blows the old ship away. The Tantalus drive core has been completely overhauled. The SR-2 might be nearly twice the size, but the new drive core is 3 times bigger. This ship can fly. That said, Cerberus isn't too high on safety. If pushed past her limits, this core would vent into engineering. Guess it gives my team incentive to keep her well balanced during a firefight.
Do your job or get vaporized.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I noticed you upgraded the kinetic barriers with cyclonic technology. Should help reduce the draw when under missile fire.
Hopefully that means fewer vaporized engineers?
The IES stealth system is significantly improved. It can handle a higher blue shift of our emissions.
And that means?
We should be able to drop out of FTL without triggering every sensor in range. Very handy for stealth reconnaissance. All in all, the Normandy is a marvel of engineering.
What do you think of Edie?
We had a good talk during the retrofit. A little strange at first, talking shop with an AI.
AI? I thought Edie posed as a VI to keep the likes of you from unplugging her.
Yeah, but I saw through her. Have you seen her hardware? Processing power is off the charts. And then there were the problems that kept fixing themselves. If I hadn't had her pegged, I would have sworn I was losing it.
You never expressed any skepticism, Lieutenant Adams.
I figured I'd better play it safe with the Cerberus AI, Edie. No offense.
None taken. As long as you keep your fingers out of my cognizance processors.
In the beginning, I tried disconnecting her from key processes without giving myself away. Easier said than done. But Joker seemed to trust her, and in time I saw her advantages. Even grew to like her.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, sir.
So basically, I don't know if I ever explained this or not, how the Normandy is able to be stealthy is, you know, it's a giant ship, so it generates a whole bunch of heat, which, you know, is given off because anything that generates heat just gives off and radiates that heat. But what the Normandy does is there's heat sinks inside the ship that capture and trap that heat, so it's not given off, you know, it's not given off the outside of the ship. And so other ships, when they do a scan, they won't pick it up because that heat is being trapped into these specialized sinks. However, when the heat sinks do reach full capacity, that's when they need to be ejected and the heat blown off. So that's why it's, you know, for a few hours they can be stealthy. You know, they can run without giving off their heat signature. What Adams just said now was used to be with the Normandy SR-1, they couldn't use the stealth system for mass relay transit because there's too much. But Cerberus apparently figured out how you can do that without, you know, how you could have the heat sinks active and do faster than light travel without, you know, alerting everyone that you're there, which is nice. They upgraded it. That's basically how it works, and how the Normandy is able to stay silent, if you will, because their heat emissions are what's silent. So here's the little robotic dog that you get.
Good dog.
In the collector's edition.
Lieutenant Steve Cortez, shuttle pilot. Got news about our supply chains, Commander.
Nice to meet you, Lieutenant. What's going on?
Sorry to just jump in, Commander. There's so much to be done, I get caught up in the tasks at hand.
He's always like that. You need to chill out, Esteban.
So you do care, Mr. Vega? Or is that the Cerveza talking again?
So what's happening with our supply chains, Lieutenant?
Alliance procurement chains are in chaos, but the Citadel's economy is still running. I can network to Citadel retailers. You can view inventory and make purchases right from this console.
When I network to a new store, I'll let you know.
It does cost more to coordinate delivery to the Normandy, so it's cheaper to buy supplies when you're there.
So you're my shuttle pilot, but you're setting up procurement chains?
I wasn't assigned as Normandy's pilot. Not much need for one on a dry dock ship. I was overseeing the retrofit of the cargo hold. I'm quite familiar with the operation and maintenance of the UT-47 Kodiak and the M44 Hammerhead. With my experience, it made sense for me to take over as shuttle pilot when we left Earth. Especially given Mr. Vega's love of mid-air collisions.
Yep.
To save the day, pendejo.
I'm also responsible for logistics, making sure the armory and shuttle are properly stocked and maintained.
Do you maintain this armory?
I share that duty with our illustrious Mr. Vega. Though I believe the only weapon he really cares to maintain is himself.
You know you love the show, Esteban.
The first retrofit we did was to move the armory down from Deck 2. I'm not sure what Cerberus engineers were thinking. Now you get off the elevator, pick your gear, and head right into the shuttle.
Just like the original Normandy.
Welcome back to the Alliance, Commander.
The Kodiak seems a bit different.
Good eyes, Commander. This is the UT-47A Kodiak. It's got an upgraded EZO core and prototype stealth technology based on the Normandy design. For quick drops, I can get you in and out virtually undetected. She flies like a brick, so that's why you need a good pilot.
Yep.
How long have you been with the Alliance?
About 10 years. I enlisted in First Fleet serving on the SSV Hawking, flying F-61 Tridents mostly. I love the Trident. It practically dances in low atmo. I spent as much time tinkering on my bird as flying her. Got a bit of a reputation.
So, you can fly fighters and fix them?
Yeah, and I got a knack for procurement too. They were grooming me for CAG, but my skill set made me more valuable commanding a flight deck. They assigned me to the Normandy retrofit team about 5 months ago to oversee all cargo bay modifications.
CAG stands for Commander Air Group. It's an actual military term that is used today, and if you're the CAG, you're basically like the senior most top pilot of, you know, whatever of that air group, you know. So it's a pretty high position on a ship in the Navy.
What happened to the M44 Hammerhead?
It was sent to the tech labs for a retrofit. To afford mobility with such a small EZO core, its design sacrificed armor plating. The lab engineers are trying to improve that. After the Reaper invasion, Those labs are probably just a pile of rubble.
So as you can see, the M44 Hammerhead is no more. I mean, it was okay, but, you know, it wasn't the best. So that's why they just scrapped it and did that.
You were stationed on Earth. Do you have family there?
I'm an only child. Lost my parents years ago. I had a husband back when I was stationed at Ferris Fields. The Collectors took out the whole colony. I'd rather not talk about it.
So, Cortez, Lieutenant Steve Cortez, he's once again a romance option for a male shepherd. So they added new romances to Mass Effect 3. It's Samantha Trainers or FemShep. Cortez is an option for a romance option for a male shepherd. And the more you talk to Cortez, you'll hear more about his backstory. Same thing with Trainer as well.
Keep up the hard work, but don't kill yourself.
Yes, Commander.
So here's the armor locker. Oh, I don't know why it flash like that. So there are some armor sets that you can have. This was one of the, I guess the pre-order ones or whatever. You know, or, once again, helmet, no helmet, breather, whatever, as you go along. So, you see you have chest, shoulders, arms, legs, just like the other ones, but it's now different pieces. Like I collected a different one. So you have the N7 set, you see they all just boost your health. Go the Casa Fabrication one, it boosts shield regeneration, which I'm going to keep because that's pretty important. And then I don't have another shoulder. We did get new arms. It also looks different. See how it changes? So it's not just, it changes like it was in the second game. So arms, we got Ariake Technologies, which is melee damage, which I don't really need that, so I'm going to keep that. Don't have any legs, and of course material, once again, you have that. And the pattern colors here. So, oh, sorry, the pattern color is all there. Pattern, then here's pattern color, which I like that, you know. And of course you got tint. So this one, you know what? I think I said beforehand, if everyone remembers or not. So the reason why Shepard has the red stripe right here on their arm is because it's based off of old, and I guess not even that, but current NASA astronauts where the mission commander, you know, because you see NASA spacesuits are white, and the mission commander always has red stripes around down their helmet and around their biceps. That's how you can tell who the mission commander is. That was the inspiration they took for Mass Effect, was in designing Shepard's armor, was to do that with this red stripe because he's commander. So the mission commander. So I'm going to keep this white. You know, let's go to that theme then. Let's keep that there, you know. So in tint 1, which is that. Then tint 2, as you see, it's all on the inside of there, but we're going to keep that there. And the lights, are these lights back here actually. You can change them. There's a lot of customization options, you know, in this game. So I'm going to put the lights, make them white as well. And then if you want here, you can do casual. So you have, this is number 1. Or you can do like a very formal, you know, dress blues, if you will. Or just civilian kind of, you know, gear like that. Remember, this is what we had beforehand when we left Earth. This one is, once again, like I said, this was originally on the legendary, not the legendary, the collector edition. This is the N7 hoodie that Edie was talking about. You can wear that or this jacket. Only the collector edition back then in 2012 got this and that. But I'm going to stick with this because I like that. So just save and exit. So procurement, this is all the stores that you visit on the Citadel. You can just buy any upgrade from here, but add an extra 10% markup. So it's easier to just go to the Citadel and buy whatever. But see, I can buy if I wanted from there. And then cost of fabrication. I don't remember going there, but you can see I can buy a model of the Alliance, the model of the Clodiac, which I'm going to. You can buy weapons. These are all mods and stuff. Okay, which the next time I go to the Citadel, I'll buy them because I'm not spending that money. You know, I'm going to save it. And then weapon upgrades. So once again, like Mass Effect 1, where you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10, they brought that back, you know, to upgrade weapons instead of their damage or whatever. Once again, you can only get to level. So with this game, unlike the first game where you could get to level 10 in one playthrough, in order to get to the levels 8, 9, and 10 of a weapon, you have to New Game Plus it. If you don't, you can only get to level 7 of a weapon, which is still pretty damn good. So like right now, I have the Mantis, so I'm going to purchase it. And I'm going to keep purchasing it pretty much. I can do that all the way. You can purchase this all the way up to level 7. Once you get to level 7, it stops. Because like I said, you have New Game Plus it. How you unlock it again is when you play through it again, once you reacquire the weapon, that's when it'll unlock level 8. Then you can buy levels 9 and 10. So I have that, and normally I like the Vindicator, but the Vindicator is good and everything, but you see what it does is it improves its damage, ammo capacity, and weight. I'm going to stick with the Avenger. I mean, it's the standard issue of the Alliance, but it's really good. I like it, so I'm going to upgrade this pretty much as I can. So that's up to 5. And then as I level up, you can, you know, get up there. Or yeah, so and I don't have enough credits for that. Oh, no, sorry, duh. You can only, from the first playthrough, you can only get up to level 5 of a weapon. New Game Plus is when you can get to level 6 through 10. That's what it was. Sorry, it's been a while since I've played. But yeah, like if I was to do New Game Plus, when I pick up the Mantis again off of the Mars mission, that's when I would unlock level 6 and then be able to purchase levels 7, 8, 9, 10. But you can only get up to level 5 on the first playthrough. So that's why it just disappeared, but this is where it is. Sleepy little doggo. So there's something actually over here. Another model. Let's just do this. Alright, so remember I said you can mod weapons? Here's the weapon bench. So, first off, got a new weapon. And then, got new weapons. So this is how you mod. You can only mod it at a weapon bench. So you select it. So I don't have any mods for this right now. You know? But, I have the sniper rifle. See here, it says modify. Throw it down, and you see the sniper rifle extended barrel increases damage by 15%. You see it, you actually get to see it, which is really cool. And as you upgrade, and these go up to level 5. There is no level 6, 7, 8, 9. There's only go up to level 5. But as you level them up, this will change as well, which is really cool. So I'm definitely going to put that on. And then the concentration mod, which increases damage by 5%, speeds perception by 25%, enhancing aim for brief time. So there's a bunch of different, you know, modifications that you can get for each weapon. You can see also the damage is up because I put that up. I put that on there, you see. And the same thing with that as well. So I'm adding that. So it's just more cool things about the game. And before I talk to James, who's getting his workout in, it's another model we picked up. Picked up a lot of models for the captain's cabin. Let's talk to James.
Hey, Shepard. How'd it go with the council?
Same as usual. Non-committal. Unhelpful.
Bet they still wanted you to help them out, no?
Yeah. We're gonna rescue a Turian Primarch from Palaven.
Sounds like fun. Never been to the Turian homeworld. You down here for a reason?
Just came down to talk.
Great. Not sure what there is to talk about. You already know my service record.
I don't, actually. I didn't have access to personnel records when we met.
Right. Forgot about that. Well... Think you can dance and talk at the same time?
I think I can handle it.
Okay, loco. Let's dance.
Don't push your luck, Vega. With age comes wisdom. And rank.
Ha! You sound like my old CO.
Oh, yeah? And who was that?
Captain Tony. He was a hard-ass son of a bitch, but a good leader.
Renegade interrupts right there. Would have punched James.
Was?
A cheap shot, I
Died.
should say.
With most of my squad. Protecting a civilian colony from a collector attack.
And the colony?
It was either them, or the intel we had on the collectors. Intel we could have used to destroy them. I chose the intel.
Sorry. That's a tough call.
James would have clocked me if I hadn't done that.
The best part was, we didn't really need the intel in the end. Because you were out saving the galaxy by taking down the entire collector homeworld.
You didn't know. You can't blame yourself, Vega.
Who says I'm blaming myself?
Another Renegade interrupt where I would have clocked him again.
Just a guess.
You a shrink too?
Nope. But that stunt back on Mars was reckless. You're lucky to be alive.
So?
So? Maybe you don't care if you live or die.
Or maybe... I'm just willing to do whatever the fuck it takes to end this goddamn war.
Maybe you are. But if you're half as good as I think you are, we need you alive.
Thanks for the pep talk.
Anytime.
Hey, thanks for the dance, loco.
Loco, huh?
I can think of worse things to call you.
Long as you remember who's in charge. You can call me whatever you want.
Oh, I won't forget.
So it's always a lot better if James gives you a nickname, you know, instead of no. It's not as fun as you say no nicknames. So the mission that James was just talking about, where, you know, his CO Captain Tony died, that's actually the animated film Mass Effect: Paragon Lost. I've never seen it, but they say it's supposed to be pretty good, and that entire movie centers on James and that mission. So if you're curious about it, you can check it out. It's, you know, they say it's really good. I've never seen it. Maybe one day I'll watch it. What's cool, what's interesting is, I think I said before, you know, the Elusive Man, you know, he smokes cigarettes, and Martin Sheen, he doesn't smoke at all. So to simulate that effect, like I said, he would suck on a pen cap during recording to simulate the and then blow out. Similarly, that scene we just did said Freddie Prinze Jr. voices James. What he did for that scene when he was in the booth recording was he was shadow boxing in the recording booth to try and, you know, simulate out of breath, shortness of breath, you know, talking and doing all that stuff. I just find those little things pretty interesting, that what they do to try to get the desired effect, you know. So that's how when you hear him going like ha, you know, he's actually like shadow boxing in the recording booth as he's laying down those voice lines. Alright. I think that's enough yapping we've done. So, yeah, clusters already conquered by the Reapers can be accessed using Normandy stealth drive. Search these clusters for survivor salvage and valuable intel. So you can see the Reapers are already in these clusters. They've already conquered them. These ones, they haven't. So the flashing ones means there's basically a mission to do in them. You know? So that's always going to be flashing. But rescue the Turian Primarch is here. This is recover the Prothean artifact. This is Javik. And this is that N7 mission for the beginning to introduce the multiplayer, one of the multiplayer maps. So how it works is this. So we're going to start here in the Hades Gammas cluster. So like I said, the mining epic, they took that out because Bioware said nobody likes it. So they scrapped that, but it's still there. So the Normandy is equipped with a new and improved scanning pulse that can detect objects of interest. Use this to uncover war assets, artifacts, intels, and fuel as you fly around the system. Be aware, however, that each time the pulse is used, the chance the Reapers will enter the system to investigate is increased. If a Reaper enters the system you are in, flee and wait until you have completed a mission before returning. So basically it's this. So there's no more fuel relays, fuel depots, because the Reapers are like destroying them. So what you do is, you see here that tone? That means something here. What you're supposed to do is this. You're supposed to...
I found something.
You see? And then you see, well, okay, my camera's kind of clear. It says Reaper Alertness. And it's this bar right here. When that bar fully fills up, the Reapers will enter this system. And if you don't leave the system, they'll descend upon the Normandy and it'll be game over. How in this system to get that bar back to zero is you just have to run a mission. And it'll go back to zero. You see up here, assets recovered. They'll tell you how many you have left. So, what we're going to do is this. So, and it can be anything, like watch. So like you just gotta do this.
Signal confirmed.
But, see, you hear the Reapers, they're now descending. So, see, like I said, all this stuff has so much lore in it. It really does. Like, if you want to read it, like, it tells you also what happens on planets, too. Seriously. Here you see the scanner is back, but notice there's nothing to mine, but all you gotta do is just you gotta follow the reticle until you get to it. And I got a war asset, Special Ops Team Zeta for the 103rd Marine Division. And now Plutarch seats 100%, but the Reapers are chasing me. I gotta get the hell out of here.
Evasion successful.
See? 100%. And see 11% overall with the Hades Gamma. So it's better, but not... not by... So now I've... Even though all the times I've played this, I don't know where everything is, but I have a pretty good general idea. You see that bar filled up in a hurry. So, this is, like I said, this isn't the worst like it was in the second game, but it could be worse. See, I got credits. I got 10,000 credits. So this has got all this stuff. See, look, investigation revealed the Batarian crew had deliberately falsified their surveys, hoping to encourage human rivals to invest in a costly boondoggle. While unethical, this was not technically legal, and the Batarian government disavowed the personal actions of a few misguided patriots. The planet is still littered with abandoned mining bases, which are often used as temporary meeting places for criminals. Like, it just gave you lore on this entire planet. This shit runs so deep if you really take the time to just read all about it, which I won't bore you guys with that. You can do it on your own time, but it's just incredible. So you see 50%. Usually in every system, there'll be fuel and some sort of planet to scale, some sort of planet to scan. So now I basically just gotta, I don't know, there it is. So that's how you refuel your ship. I just got 200 units of fuel. But I gotta get the hell out of here before the Reapers catch up to me.
Reapers eluded.
Now if I do run out of fuel, then I will be put back to the system with the mass relay in it. But if I do this correctly, I shouldn't.
Signal confirmed.
Let's see if I can do this or not. So I got 200 more units of fuel. If I can do this quickly or not, we'll see. If not, you'll see what happens when the Reapers catch up to you. So they got an Alliance frigate, the Agincourt, for the First Fleet. Ooh, and I was able to
Faster
make
than
it.
light jump successful.
Okay. I might have to do this one twice.
I found something.
Johei. And I got 10,000 more credits, so I got 20 grand so far. Yeah, I'm definitely have to do this twice. See, the Reapers caught up to me and critical mission failure. Good news though is it just puts me back in this system again. So I'm just gonna
I found something.
hunt until I find it. See, there it is. So there's a lot of trial and error, you know. So now I know exactly where that is. I'm only going to be able to just scan it twice.
I found something.
Once here, because I know that's where the fuel is. I got 400 units. And that just varies. And then I know the other one is here. See, that's how I do this part. It's just a lot of trial and error. And if you noticed, I saved the, what's it? I saved the mass relay one for last, so that way when I enter that, it's not like I have to immediately run to the mass relay. Unless one of the other systems had a mission that I was going to, then I would just would have done that. It's here like this. 300 units of fuel puts me back up almost the top. 50%. So, bang, here we go. I got more credit. I got 30,000 credits worth of here, so that's why it's always worth it to do this stuff, you know. And I have 100% scanned the Hades Gamma Cluster. It's the Kite's Nest. That's what it was. This is the Batarian home system. Yeah, this is the Batarian home system right here. Here's Karshan.
Signal confirmed.
But for now, I mean, I shouldn't say there are no more fuel deposits. There are, but they're just in select systems, like the Anos Basin, which is where the Solarian homeworld is. That has them. That has one, which I might have to hit.
I found something.
Yeah, it gave me 100 units of fuel. You see, Alliance estimates put the planet's Batarian population at just over 6 million, but the number has likely fallen since the Reapers arrived. I was lucky. 10,000 more credits.
Evasion successful.
Let's go to Karshan. So this is the Batarian homeworld right here. Karshan, so I will read this. Karshan, the Batarian homeworld, is wrapped less in mystery than in outright lies. Batarian propaganda claims the world has 15 billion inhabitants and an economy that rivals the Asari. Although the legal slave trade does boost the Batarians' profits somewhat, Citadel sanctions have left a paper tiger of an empire, one that fights rivals through deniable terrorist actions rather than the wars of its heyday centuries ago. The Reapers will likely be the death blow to that empire. Almost no information has escaped Karshan since the Reapers destroyed the comm buoys, but Batarian refugees say that resistance has created a bond among the commoners. If a new government can rise from the ashes, that bond may sustain a new Batarian society. And then you have all its stuff. So we got, that is another side quest that we unlocked. No. See, 33%, there's more than one here. So we've got that. So kind of got lucky there. Got fuel. And then another planet. So it all ranges on what's in a system. It's not guaranteed there's always two things. Sometimes there's one. You know, it all depends. So we got a weapon upgrade kit. That's why it's always worth it, and we have 100% without triggering the Reapers. But, let's go to Animus Basin. So there's nothing to go here, but you see there's a fuel depot there in case you run out. You can always do that. And Surkesh is the Solarian homeworld, which we'll get to that. Let's see, you even have... There's nothing scanning here, but there's that. Okay, so we did that. We did that. I will scan here, because remember, you need to run a mission in order to have a cooldown on the Reaper threat. So... I'm not going to do that yet, but I will scan this one.
Signal confirmed.
Means Reaper Destroyer. So we got a bunch of intel to research later. Alliance Naval Exploration Flotilla. So we upgraded something. Alright, I can never... Terra Nova. I can never get this one all in Alliance Cruiser Shanghai. I can never get this one all in one go. So I'm going to have to come back for that one later. And since it's so far away, we'll use up all our fuel.
I found something.
Thankfully, we got 200 units. will come back to that. But I need fuel, so that's why I'm going to go here. To get more fuel. You see, this is how the galaxy is broken up. There's here it's like it's human space. There's like inner and outer council space. The terminus systems, I believe, is this. The Attican Traverse, I believe, is over here. The Attican Traverse, I believe, is like over here. So it's weird. So we're gonna go there next. I'm not gonna do this one. We're gonna do Rescue the Primarch before, and then this one afterwards. I don't know if we're going to get that to today. So... little small system.
Signal confirmed.
Credits! Now, I don't know if you guys heard it before or not, but like, if you run 350 units, when you're flying around, if you fly over, like, fuel, you can hear it ping, you know? And that's when you know it's there. But you have to scan it to reveal it. So, like...
I found something.
Javelin missile launchers. So here, Watson is known in human media for two things. Its spectacular tides brought on by a large moon, and the bureaucratic snafu over which Earth nations got to settle there first. Watson is a garden world first discovered in 2165, with credit claimed by the Chinese People's Federation, the United North American States, and the European Union. The system's alliance brokered the infamous Reykjavik Compromise, allowing limited colonization from each coalition cities comprise the populations from each nation. Like, you would have never known that if you read this stuff. Like, there's lore behind the planet. That's why this is what makes Mass Effect so great. Like, seriously. That's not there. I knew it was somewhere.
Faster than light jump successful.
Alright. So let's go. The Apian Crest. Homeworld of the Turians. Palaven. So this is the Turian homeworld Palaven. So we're going to its moon, but the only thing on this planet that isn't silver are the Turians. It's all too clear they're made of steel. These were Alliance hero John Grissom's impressions of the Turian homeworld Palaven, seen by humans for the first time following the First Contact War. The Turians' martial attitude permeates every aspect of Palaven society, from architecture to art to politics. It's no surprise that their homeworld was never occupied by an invading force until now. The Reapers, aware of their enemy's reputation, brought overwhelming force to Palaven and did not hesitate to bombard cities that resisted, and all of them resisted. The dust and smoke from pulverized cities is now a breathing hazard across much of the planet. Water and power supplies have all but vanished. Still, the fight here cost the Reapers deadly. Alliance Travel Advisory. Palaven's weak magnetic field means solar radiation levels are greater than those found in other habitable worlds. Human visitors are advised to wear enviro suits or other radiation protection when visiting Palaven. So you can see the Turian population on their homeworld is 6.1 billion, and in the orbital stations it's 350,000, but obviously pre-invasion. The capital of Palaven is Cyprotine. So, in the world of Mass Effect, after humanity discovered the Charon mass relay, John Grissom, who was decorated Alliance soldier, was the first human to go through the Charon mass relay, and I forget where that links to. He did it and became an instant hero. And so, of course, when the first contact war happened with Turians and humanity and Turians, that's why he was one of the first people to visit Palaven, because he's already a big Alliance hero. But like John Grissom is pretty much like the Neil Armstrong for humanity in Mass Effect.
Signal confirmed.
350 units. Tops us back out. I think it's this one. Ooh, I was wrong. It's this one. That's another one, Banner the First, that I'm going to have to turn in later.
Evasion successful.
It's a big-ass bright sun. See, like, you hear that little ping? There's something there.
I found something.
Turian 79th Flotilla. So this next thing boggles my mind. Got 800 units of fuel, which tops us off. Sure. This is 750 units of fuel. Like, even if I was to save those, it wouldn't make sense, because why would I then fly here to fly there to fly back? Like, it just makes no sense. I mean, just buy fuel. Anyway. I think this is at 100%. Yeah. So that's where we're going to go as Menai. But before we do that, let's upgrade those few things first.
Dr. Tassoni found useful information in the data you recovered, Commander.
Weapon upgrade kit. Once again, ammo or weapon damage. I'm going to use ammo. So I can fire things longer. Remains of Reaper Destroyer. Power cooldown or store? Give me things cheaper. Oh, and I never even showed you guys the captain's cabin. Same thing. See all the models we already got that are here? Little space hamster. Fish tank are back, but we don't have our fish, which kind of sucks. But anyway, let's go back here. Alright, that is actually gonna do it for today. You know, a lot of yapping, a lot of talking, sure, but it's necessary because the very beginning of Mass Effect 3 is kind of slow. It's setting up the pace and everything, you know, just like that. But from now on, it's pretty much just going to be a lot of, like, constant action and stuff, which is nice, you know. But it had to be slow to build everything up, you know, but it's just going to be action after action after action going forward. So yeah, we're finally here in Mass Effect 3. So it's a long time coming. Got a lot to do. So yeah, so people who watch the VODs appreciate it. Give me a follow. I'm trying to hit affiliate. Almost there, but I need you guys' help to do it. So once again, we'll continue Mass Effect 3 now. We're finally here. So once again, thank you very much.